We are live. Let me just make sure. Let me just make sure that okay. All right, so we live. Welcome. Y'all already know the vibes. Welcome to Open Field. I'm here with the same suspects as usual. But before we start the show, I do want to say shout out to our guys. You already know our GOAT members, IDWC, Avion Plumber, Cobra Son of Raditz. Shout out to our Hall of Fame members and our legend members. If you want to be a part of the Players Choice community, you already know the information you need is in the description below. Excuse me. There's new rules in place. I'm sorry. Listen, this is coming from the top, and obviously, up here on Open Field, somebody's got to enforce the rules that we put in place at Players Choice. So if I gotta be the host to enforce the rules, I'll be the host to enforce the rules. With that being said, Leaf, I love you to death, my brother, but this is not me. This is not me. This is not me. But I really can't have you up here with that background, bro. That's not coming from me. I'm not trolling you. I'm not trolling you. Before you get mad at me, I'm not trolling you. This is coming from up top. This is not coming from me. There are rules now that we have to abide by. So one of those rules was no outside conversations, no cars. Random and Shonen were there when that happened. But I gotta take you down, bro. I gotta bring you down. I ain't going front. It's not me. I'm following the rules. I love you, bro. It's not even me. Rob, are you in your bed right now, bro? If you're in your bed, bro, you cannot pull up to the show in your bed, brother. It's not that type of day.
Turn this camera on.
I'm gonna just keep it up being. I gotta enforce the rules. Somebody has to do it. And if J Rob is gonna be public enemy number one, then I'll be that guy. I don't care. So obviously, I need good webcams. If you haven't put up before, we need good webcams. We need good webcams. We need good webcams, good audio. Don't be out there yelling at whoever outside. You feel me? But yeah. So with that being said, fellas, welcome to Open Field. As always, I'm glad to have y'all here. Obviously, it's Tuesday, so Tuesday means this is one of our college football episodes. However, Monday Night Football happened. And usually we wait till like that last 45 minutes, that last hour to talk about the NFL. But I think I'm going to kick us off with the NFL because obviously, Shonen, as the resident Giants fan, the $160 million contract, the $40 million a year quarterback, the 1-12 quarterback in primetime games, 11 sacks. I thought the Legion of Boom was out there in Seattle. I thought they looked resurrected. So my question to you, Shonen, and obviously Random and Grant, y'all follow up. Where do you go from here?
Hey, man. The Giants are in a very interesting place right now. We just paid our quarterback all that money. We're won one game, arguably a fluke, honestly. And there's a new draft class that's coming up with a bunch of quarterbacks.
Facts.
And right now, I'm gonna say this once. I've been saying this a couple times on social media too, and to my peoples. Shedeur Sanders, come to the Giants, my boy. Shedeur Sanders, I'm ready for the next generation. I like what Shedeur has to offer. Daniel Jones is great for what he is, but like teams are scheming to the point where like I don't believe you're gonna throw the ball downfield. I just don't believe you're gonna do that. So the Giants are not able to do anything, especially with Saquon out. Right? It's like it's just nasty work. I just can't watch this. And I'm done. Even Brian Dabo was kind of like, bro, what was that throw?
He looked so mad last night. I'm not gonna
like,
lie.
what?
Thought he was about to throw his headphones down the field.
The pick six, and he just looked at Daniel Jones. He's like, "What the fuck was that?"
He's like, "You have."
That had to be said.
He stared at him like when your father's disappointed in you. He's like, "You have."
Daniel Jones couldn't even look at him in the face. He just kept walking.
Yeah, you like.
Oh my god, it's disappointing. So right now the Giants will tank, get a first pick, and we can have a bridge too. Daniel Jones could be the bridge, and then whatever that rookie quarterback, hopefully Shedeur, praying for Shedeur, comes on the team and then starts the next year. That's what I want.
Grant, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go?
You go ahead, man.
All right. This is the one thing I've said Okay. There's been a series of bad decisions. Obviously, one of them is Kenny Galladay. Who knew the man was going to sell the way he sold? He stole money. Okay. I know I get a lot on Daniel Jones stealing money. No, Kenny Galladay stole money from the entire city of New York, the state of New York, anything that says New York, J-Rob's hat, the New York Jets, anything that has New York brand, and Kenny Galladay stole money from it. But the Giants, when they look back on it, why did they just franchise him and say, look, man, prove it? The Washington team did it with Kirk Cousins. Why would you not just say, here's a fully guaranteed 1-year deal with a franchise tag and prove it? Instead of giving this man $40 million, now you have to find a way, if you are going to be good enough to do what Riddell says and go get Shedeur Sanders, our first-round quarterback, what are you going to do with that contract? Mm-hmm. Who's taking that contract? Who's taking it? We talk a lot of mess about people, but the Cardinals are a better team than the Giants right now. Josh Dobbs is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones right now. And a lot of people come at me, including that one dude who worked for the Cowboys when he was here a couple weeks ago, and I said, this guy is terrible. And the fact that he only got his money because of Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, and God, watching their faces as he threw that pick 6 last night was glorious because you did this. You're the ones who talked to them. So they're in the worst place. They're like a basketball team that's too good to fail, but too bad to suck.
Too good to fail, too bad to suck. Wow. Okay, go ahead, Grant. What you think?
Yeah. So I watched that game straight up until halftime, and then I turned it off because I automatically knew this wasn't going to end well. And after when I woke up this morning, and I looked at his stat line, 27 for 34, 79% completion, 203 yards, no touchdowns. It's over at this point. I mean, I've sat there and I've tried to understand like why they're putting him in this position. I think last night was the final straw. So I think I agree with Riddell. I think they're going to tank. I don't know about Shedeur yet, about them getting Shedeur yet. I find it most likely that he would go to the draft this year if eligible, but I think there's probably factors that depend on that. Overall, the Giants have just been disappointed. They had the one comeback win against the Cardinals, and every single game they got blown out by Dallas. They got a horrible loss against Seattle, and then they've had a horrible loss against
the Niners. We got blown out by the Niners.
What is even the Giants' schedule? When is their next win for real? Let's be 100% honest. What is their next win?
Look, have the schedule.
I'm pulling it up right now.
So all right, hold up. Go ahead.
So they have the Dolphins next week at the Dolphins. That's a loss.
Oh, yep.
At the Bills. That's a loss.
Yep.
They play the Commanders. I'm not gonna lie. That's
probably
a loss.
Yeah, it's probably a loss.
They play the Jets.
Loss. To be honest.
Loss.
They play the Raiders.
Maybe.
I'm gonna tell you why it's a loss against the Giants, because we're gonna get in that backfield all night long.
That's true.
D-line is gonna kill that.
That is true. But then they play the Raiders. That might be your next win.
Yeah, that might be.
That is maybe.
That is a month from now.
But Max Crosby's gonna destroy the O-line as well. So it's
that is a month from now.
I just want you to.
Oh my God!
Go ahead.
Sorry. Because then you look after that, Cowboys lost, Commanders again lost, Patriots. I'm sorry, that's a loss. I don't care how bad the Patriots are. I still think they're beating Daniel Jones. Packers lost, Saints lost, Eagles lost, Rams lost, Eagles again lost.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I'm gonna be honest with you, Shonen, Riddell. Listen, Brody. For one, I just want you to know that I've never seen something so mishandled in my life that could have been easily, which to me could have been easy fix for this year. Like the Giants this year could have been so much better going into this year if they didn't pay that man if they didn't pay the quarterback that money. And obviously, look, I'm not blaming Daniel Jones for getting paid that bread, because at the end of the day, You are what you are worth to that company. You feel me? I can't fault him for getting the contract. And any single one of us, even if we weren't that good, we signed in that contract because nobody's turning down that type of money. So that's first and foremost.
Oh Lord!
Two,
I'm sorry, I'm looking at this contract. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's insane for a guy for him with the money that he's getting.
Yeah, 46 this year. 41.
Let me finish. Yeah. So at the end of the day, like I definitely can't get down. I definitely can't get down with bro's contract. I think the contract in itself was crazy, but I look at it like this. If I'm the GM, and this is why I say this is kind of incompetence by the GM. This is where y'all got analytical people, right? They're looking, y'all always got people in buildings that look into the numbers. You know that Daniel Jones throws more interceptions than touchdown passes when Saquon Barkley is in the lineup. When Saquon Barkley is out, he throws more picks than he does touchdowns. Do you know why? Does anybody know why that is? Because they can't run play action without Saquon Barkley because nobody's stacking a box for Matt Breida and company. And it's a bad O-line. So at the end of the day, they're easy to defend because nobody respects. If somebody has a TV on in the background, I need you to turn that down. If you can't go out there. You have no type of play action. So nobody's respecting. Who in the NFL right now respecting Daniel Jones's ability to throw the football?
Absolutely.
Not many offenses. Devin Witherspoon is in the interview and said, when they interviewed him about the game, they said, I just followed my coach's game plan. My coach said, he stares down his first read. Obviously, you saw the 2 interceptions. Both of those interceptions, some people, Trent was in the chat saying it was the wrong route. To me, I seen is 2 guys who completely a guy who stared down both those interceptions, 2 horrible interceptions. Clearly the quarterback's fault. But hey, I understand.
J-Rob, no.
Hold on, let me finish my point. The quarterback is to blame as well. Them 2 interceptions, I watched them 2 interceptions. I could say one could have been a wrong route. The other was clearly a stare down by Daniel Jones. It was clearly a stare down. The DB didn't have to do much to make that interception. So if you don't want to blame if you don't want to blame Daniel Jones, but the coach on the sideline is blaming Daniel Jones, then at the end of the day, I'm gonna go with Brian Dabo. Because it looked like it was Daniel Jones, and if you saw the reaction by Brian Dabo on that sideline, it seemed like Daniel Jones. But the point I want to get to at the end of all of this, and end of my monologue, is Daniel Jones. You could have put him on a franchise tag, use all of that bread to go out there and put more pieces around him. O-line, better receivers, defenders. I'm not seeing this Kayvon Thibodeau kid being this impactful D lineman that people are saying. I don't see it yet.
He did have a sack last night, but
he played well, but it wasn't like something that's gonna impress me.
He's not jumping off my screen right now. I'm gonna just keep it up.
Agreed.
Nobody's respecting Daniel Jones as a passer. They sent him the house against the O-line because they know Daniel Jones got happy feet. 4 turnovers, 1 fumble loss. It is like this is what this kid's been since his career, and I think I've even said it. It has been hard to evaluate this kid because of the weapons around him. But at the end of the day, if I look at the Giants organization, y'all are just as incompetent. Because I'm sorry to tell y'all, fellas, I don't know if y'all agree with this, but if Daniel Jones said I want a $160 million contract, I'm gonna say, Daniel, I got a franchise tag for you, and if you want to go into the market and see what goes on, I would have let you walk the market. Because I don't think he was getting $40 million nowhere else. No. And I think Shannon Sharp said it best. The quarterback position is the only position in sports where you can get overpaid knowing that you are an average at best quarterback. We've seen it with Jimmy G. We've seen it with we even seen it with backups getting bags. We see backups getting bags to be backups, and they don't even deserve it. They're mid. So I mean, if I'm the Giants, you could blow it up, but this is my thing. Everybody wants to say blow it up. But what y'all gonna put that same group and talent around Caleb Williams?
If I'm Caleb, I don't want to go there right now. If I'm Shador, I don't want to go there.
If you're a top pick, it don't matter. You're gonna go to a bad team.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Shador Sanders, to me, I already think he's
He's gonna stay.
Well, I do think the Black Brady thing is crazy, but what I'm saying, I think he's staying in 2025. I don't think he's coming out this year.
Now Deion said he won't let him. He said him won't shot.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to the Big 12 next year. Colorado has a real shot to. They got a real shot to win a division with Texas and Oklahoma leaving. I would try to stay and get his value up because at the end of the day, I think Caleb, no matter what, is the consensus number one. I don't see if you're the consensus number one how you don't go out into the NFL draft. But if I'm Shedeur with my intangibles, I think I got a good shot to go number one in 2025. So I'm staying in just off that alone because I think I'm going first round regardless. Might as well try to go number one.
Go. Let me give you his contract right now. So he's making 40. He's making 46 this year. Then he's making 36 next year. Then 30 the year after that, and then 47 his final year. The Giants have a potential out after next season, which a $22 million dead cap hit. So even if you draft a quarterback, how quickly is Daniel Jones's leash before you give whoever you draft the job?
He gets 1 year, but I want to debunk something.
He's already had.
Let me go after you.
He's already had 3 years.
Randall.
Daniel Jones, I'm not so. I have never really been sold on Daniel Jones, to be honest. I don't really try to protect him compared to like some other Giants fans. I wasn't sold on him as a thrower, as a playmaker, as a runner. Like he's not as athletic or as fast as some of the best runners in the league. So he's just been kind of
top
like
10 easily
as a runner.
Daniel Jones got wheels at quarterback.
At quarterback,
that's great.
That's
great, but.
I look okay. After this, I want to do a list, and I don't know if he's top 10. But
I guarantee you is.
I think he is top 10.
I think he's definitely top 10.
We could.
Running the football for no reason, my boy.
Running the football, yes.
And running the football, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Running the football.
I feel like we might be able to get. I feel like we
runs.
might be able to get some people, but we'll relook at it. So with that said, Daniel Jones has not proven to take that next level, even though he has been with Dabo. He has clear deficiencies that teams are scheming up against. And without Saquon, he's not able to take advantage of the play action that J-Rob was saying. What I disagree with what y'all saying is that the Giants are going to ruin the next quarterback. We are not going to ruin the next quarterback.
Okay? We did not say that. I didn't say that.
I never said y'all were going to ruin him. I said
God did say Caleb Williams didn't want to go though, but it don't matter.
No, I said ruin him because I said ruin him in the sense of because I want you to get your point across on it. I said ruin him just because of the lack of resources. Like what do you have around this kid?
So
was it Waller? But he looks like he's cooked, or you're not using him.
Nuts, man.
So this is more. There's
not watching the game.
A clear disconnect because the Giants do have talent. Obviously, the offensive line is a big thing. We need to spend money, fix that offensive line. We need to fix it, of course. But in terms of the team overall, we do have talent. We do have wide receiver pieces. They're just not being used. Paris Campbell, Isaiah Hodges, Darius Slayton, Sterling.
What?
If any of those weapons were on the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes would go crazy with a lot of them, honestly. So we do have weapons.
I would agree with Shepard.
They're not elite,
I would
but
agree
they
with
are
Shepard.
valuable weapons. And Darren Waller is supposed to be a top 5 tight end. He's not getting used properly. So that's another problem that the Giants they're just not using our offensive pieces are not being maximized, kind of similar to the Falcons, to be honest. And then our defense definitely has talent, but there's a weird disconnect because this year they're definitely not playing as well as they did last year. There's a weird disconnect with.
Don't they have the Ravens OC, of DC over there? Was it Martin something? The former DC of the Ravens.
I don't know. I don't know if we have.
I can't remember his name.
My thing is this. I feel like when it comes to the Giants organization, I feel like 3 things. One, they had
an elite coach.
They had Geno Smith. Let him go. It's the play calling for me because the way Daniel Jones' feet is, you can use him in different ways. Like again, a Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt plays for Kansas City. He a top rookie this year. Like they don't. He a 4-3 guy. You don't use his speed. Y'all don't use even when Trey comes out. Matt Breida is a good stat back. He's a great catcher out of the field, everything like that. You can use him.
You don't like Brian Dable's play calling.
The play calling is awful. I'm gonna give you a prime example, right? The first game TCU with Colorado, right? Deion knew his O-line went at the pass. So what did he do? A lot of quick passes with Shedeur. Quick passes, get it out. A lot of slant routes, a lot of drags. That's how you need to use them for right now. You got the speed on that team. Darren Waller, ain't nothing wrong with Darren Waller. You just don't throw him the ball.
So what's the difference between this year and last year in your opinion?
the difference between this year and last year for me is that I feel like last year they thought they had a weapon in the guy that they got from the Lions, but he wasn't legit. I think they actually have the receivers, and I don't think people understand how good Darren Waller really is. He's not cooked. They're just not using him. He needs to be abused.
I'm not saying he's cooked. Yeah, I'm not saying he's cooked either.
A game, period. Like, period. It should be a lot of one-on-ones. It should be like how the kind of like how Kansas City uses Kelsey, or how the Falcons use Pitts his rookie year. Like, Dale Waller is a fast 6'4", 6'5" type of tight end who is like a hybrid tight end. You need to move him all over the place. Hyatt should be getting wide receiver screens. Like, use him in that light. He has the speed to do all of that, but they don't use him like that. And then Daniel Jones, again, with the O-line, yes, the O-line isn't as good, but I feel like y'all could do quicker routes to get the ball out of his hands more.
Well, I mean, why do you think? Why do you?
When Daniel Jones rolls out, you can't catch him. You really can't catch him.
Why do you think they're not throwing it deep to Jalen Hyatt? You think it's because they don't want to call him to run him deep? You really think Brian?
I know that. I know what Saquon. I know what Saquon. You can't get that.
Hold on, this is why y'all losing. This is why y'all losing. This is why y'all losing.
But right now,
this is why y'all losing me about the play calling. Because if y'all don't like the play calling, that means y'all don't think Brian Dabo can call offense,
which is a lie.
Which is cap.
You saw the magic he did with Josh Allen.
The reason why
you saw the magic he did with Josh Allen.
To me, the reason why you're not seeing what you saw last year, or even some of the same production, is because teams don't play y'all honest, bro. They don't play y'all honest.
I'm not a Giants fan.
I agree to that.
J-Rod.
You a Jets fan?
I'm a Packers fan.
Packers fan. Okay, go ahead.
J-Rod, this is why I think they don't be watching the game. It was one drive they came off the field, man. I know Daniel Jones missed a read or something. It was a reason why he got sacked or something like that, man. Mm-hmm. Instantly, bro, you see Dabo looking at him like, bro,
what are you doing?
Upset, really upset, bro. You could sit here and scream to you blue in the face. Jalen Hyatt should do this, all of that, bro. If you not hitting the free ones, gang, if you can't hit the free ones, bro, like, why have faith to call of all of these? Getting early 24 plays,
but bam. Here's the thing: when you're getting sacked 10 times, like, you don't understand it, like how your mind races. You're not getting any comfortability. Y'all saw it with Zach Wilson. Once Zach got comfortable, and another thing, play calling, which I don't realize is that I can play call for Josh Allen, but I might not have the faith in Daniel Jones, so I don't play call the same for him because I don't open the book up for him.
What
I just broke it down for you.
Open the book for Zach Wilson. When you open the book for him a little bit, you see he throwing that thing around.
Last year was a magnificent coaching job by Dabo with how much he managed Daniel Jones's bad qualities. Last year, that's how much he managed him. Daniel Jones,
you do another year with no O-line.
Early.
He's not good enough. Does CJ Stroud have a good O-line, man? Does CJ Stroud have a good O-line? No, he doesn't. But he's making it work. He's just not good enough. Early.
Also, as well, I also want to say this too, because you keep saying open up the playbook. The only thing open up the playbook means, instead of giving him 1 to 2 plays, they're giving him 3 to 5 plays. And you have the opportunity to check between those plays. So if you're saying that a quarterback that can't even hit free passes, he should get more plays in his headset, bro, you drunk. You don't.
I got me paper for Daniel Jones.
Hold on. Let me say. Hold on.
And then on top of that, J-Rod, hold on. I just want to piggyback.
Which is bad because Eli wasn't good either.
I want to give.
He had his good years and he had his bad years.
Eli was
already twice. You legit.
The reason why I say it's fully disgusting too. The fact with the 1 or 2 plays he get in his headset that CJ Stroud is playing the way he playing between the ears with the same garbage O-line, and you could arguably say the
third string left tackle
as good. The way he's playing with the 1 to 2 plays, and you talking about somebody in year 3, he needs more plays in his headset. That's why
you're like, come on, bro.
He's not good enough early. If the Mannings have to come to you and convince your front office,
not even over CJ Stroud or AR. I'm very upset
But hey, if the Mannings have to come to you in the front office, early. If the Mannings have to come up to you and convince you to sign this man, when the whole season, what was the talk in New York's Giants world? Do we pay this man or not? And if you're being 100% honest, you don't. You give him a franchise tag to try, or you go call him. He's not good enough.
I totally believe that they.
Oh my God!
Thank the Lord, this man is here. He's not good enough.
Hold on.
We need you,
good
Meek.
enough.
Before Meek,
I totally
before
believe
Meek go,
what you
I
said.
want to
Meek
say
about to
one
go.
thing.
Meek about to go crazy.
Before Meek
I
goes, I
get
want to
you.
say one thing.
No, let Early finish, then you go, Riddell.
Hold on.
One at a time. One at a time.
Yeah,
Nobody can
before
hear
Meek
y'all when y'all
goes,
talk
I
over
want to
each
say
other.
one thing. The big difference for Daniel Jones, in my opinion, is exactly what J-Rob just said. They're not scared of Daniel Jones.
No.
They are playing up. And when you know Daniel Jones only looks at his first read, it makes it very easy to scheme against simple plays like a screen and a slant.
Oh, salute P5.
So the fact that he struggles throwing the ball down the field, the fact that he only looks at one read, and when he doesn't get that one read, he wants to run out the pocket, and makes it super easy to game plan against
It
Daniel
is.
Jones.
It is.
That is the problem with Daniel Jones, because last year Brian Daboll was a new coach. They did stuff with Daniel Jones they never even thought about.
Right.
Now they got the tape, bro.
Magnificent coaching job by Dabo last year.
Now.
Magnificent coaching job by Dabo last year.
Meek, before you come up here and cook Daniel Jones early, there's one other thing I want to say to you when you brought that open the playbook thing. Because when you said open the playbook, I almost threw up in my mouth.
Open the
Bama,
playbook.
you know this. When you're preparing to play a certain team, there's a script of plays the offense will come up with. We got about 15 to 22 plays that we have watched film, and we think these are going to be the most effective plays against this team. Now, obviously, throughout camp, you have a bunch of plays. So they could throw in the trick play, this, that, and the third. But if they don't rep it out during practice that week, there's not a likelihood that they're going to run it in a game. And I'm sorry. I've seen Brian Dabo completely revitalize Josh Allen. I give Brian Dabo a lot of credit for the success of Josh Allen, because I think he innovated
and
with
my
that
blood cousin from the city, born and raised, Stephon Diggs too. Because when he didn't have a weapon, he wasn't shit.
Yeah.
So let's do that too.
Stephon Diggs glaze real quick.
Diggs,
Same with Tua.
All right.
I'm hip.
You know, that's my
I'm hip. I
gotta shout him out.
Diggs 100% also.
Same thing with Tua.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's a different quarterback.
I agree with that.
They're still good though. I mean, every quarterback is.
You can't go to Travis Kelce. You ain't that good.
Hold on, early.
That's every quarterback though. So I mean,
two things could be true. He got better. And not only did he get better, he got a real weapon with Diggs. And I agree with all of that earlier. Let me make sure I give Diggs his love. He was eating.
McNabb, Super Bowl, first year with you.
Right. But the reason why I gotta bring up Dabo is because y'all not gonna look me in the face and blame play calling when I already know Brian Dabo.
He's not calling the plays.
But not even that, bro. He may not call the plays, but he's in the meeting room.
They need to fire Casper, bro.
But I'm telling you, Meek, he's in the meeting rooms. You think Dabo don't got the final say on them plays, bro?
Yeah. It's like McCarthy and Kellen Moore.
I think he's
Wait, hold on, Meek. How many times did you see
blame
so far
everybody
this year?
else but
Hold
Daniel
on.
Jones.
No, listen,
Hold
on. Let J-Rob finish.
Meek, I'm about to give you the floor. I'm about to give you the floor. But Meek, at one point in the game this year, did Brian Dabo not take the play sheet and start calling plays for this kid in game? I think he did it last week. And he did it Cardinals. Come on, so he know to take and against the Cardinals. He know how to call plays, bro. I know he's sitting with the OC looking at them. I know they have a good. I can't sit here and decide that Brian Dabo don't got his offensive staff making the play calls. I just think there's a lack of execution by the players. Go ahead, Meek, take it away. It's your world.
Get your shit on.
Talking about what y'all talking about, I think he lets Kafka do his thing until he sees it's not going to work. Like last game, I think second half, he started to call the plays. And as you could see, the offense started driving and then Danny fucking Dimes throw the worst pick of his career. He could have ran that in, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
he made bad decisions.
I know he was pressured, sacked 11 times, bro.
10 times.
But dude,
first time since 1985.
They kicked his butt up and down the
field.
Listen,
last night he had nothing to do. Like that, it don't matter what they did. They couldn't block for shit last night.
I need to watch that game.
But there was also plays that he did not make, bro. They just
the one drive into the.
But J-Rob, you gotta understand that when you got pressure like that, you start to get paranoid.
But he being
our $40 million quarterback though, bro. Being our $40 million quarterback though, bro.
Yeah,
bro.
You don't deserve that.
He's been in the league too long now. We can't keep making that excuse.
Thank you.
So
I agree.
He's not good enough.
Let me rock.
Go ahead. His rookie year, bro.
Bro, there's a clear processing thing there.
I get it,
bro. He gotta get that. Like, if you know, like, this is my thing, and this is why I really gotta be on Daniel Jones, because at the end of the day, I look at all the quarterbacks with bad offensive lines right now in the league. I watched a rookie who's only played in the league for 4 games get the ball out of his hands fast. He's had a depleted offensive line and went out there and busted up the Steelers. And he's just getting the ball out of it. You can't tell me that there's no way, and this is why I keep saying there's no way you can tell me Brian Dabo and Kafka can't go up there and scheme something easy for Daniel Jones. I find that hard to believe. And the other thing too is I think, and Meek, I just want you to know why Dabo gives Kafka that leash that you don't like. You don't feel like you should have. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you gotta, as a head coach, when you become a head coach of a football team, even let's just say you started as like an offensive mind or a defensive minded coach. At the end of the day, when you become the head coach, you oversee everything. So you have to establish a level of trust. You have to establish a level of trust with your staff to allow them to go out there and coach. And I understand. In the Cardinals game, it looked bad. I got to take the play calls, but you gotta let. I understand, but you gotta let your OC grow, especially if you Dable. I know he's spoon feeding this to him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, Early.
Can I ask you a question?
Let P5 go. Let P5 go. He ain't go yet. Go ahead, P5.
Okay, before I get what I have to say off, with everything being said, this is just a question. I'll get into my main point. Who's better, Desmond Ridder or Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
it's Jones.
Let me say
I just told you your options. You might as well just tank and call for Taylor Heineke. That's what I'm
Randall,
saying.
can I fucking talk?
All right, as a Falcons fan, I was hoping I'll say here's my But here's what I want to say about Daniel Jones. It's kind of the same problems I've always had with Daniel Jones. I've always thought he's had a decent arm, but he's never been like the pinpoint accurate guy that you'd want to take that highly in the draft. He's always had a big problem with sensing pressure in the pocket. He's always been bad there, and he's athletic and he uses his athleticism. I think in particular last year was some of the best that he showed of that. But he's just too antsy in the pocket, doesn't sense pressure, not very accurate. He's got a good arm, but he's very inconsistent with his accuracy, like I said. So there's a lot of problems going on there with Daniel Jones. And do I think the play calling could be better? I mean, maybe. But I think Brian Dabo. I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty. I don't want to say I don't know if disingenuous is the right word, but you see what I'm trying to say. We're just blaming it all on like. I don't know if that's what J-Rob was doing, but like kind of blaming it on.
No, I'm not blaming it on. See, the problem is I'm not blaming it.
Play calling is definitely a big problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
And the weapons.
A huge
But I think
the
thing is, I think if Daniel Jones was a little bit better as a quarterback, I don't think we would be saying.
Can I say something, Rob?
And I also think
wait.
Go ahead, Meek.
It is no reason that Darren Waller should have caught his second pass.
I agree.
Quarter.
I agree.
He
I agree with that.
Daniel Jones' safety net
I agree.
the area of a Kelsey, a Kittle.
Well, that's how I feel about Kyle Pitts.
What I say
That's
before
how I
he
feel about
comes
Kyle
in?
Pitts.
I don't disagree with that, though.
12 targets a game.
That's how I feel about Kyle
12
Pitts.
targets
So
a
I
game.
mean,
There's no reason.
see how
bro.
it feels.
Jalen
That's how I
Hyatt
feel about Kyle
getting
Pitts.
4 or 5 snaps a game. That's uncalled for.
Hey, man, you cooking.
That's Sterling.
But what I'm
Shepard.
saying is, do you? But let me ask. But here's the question I have to keep asking you. This is the same situation with Desmond
I can't
Ritter.
put all this blame
When
on
you
my
have,
quarterback,
when you,
bro.
I'm not putting all the
giving
blame.
a lot to him,
No, listen.
Desmond
Listen,
Ritter
I'm
is so underwhelming.
Listen,
as a
I'm not
quarterback.
putting all the blame on your quarterback. Listen, but I've watched y'all come up here and violate Justin Fields. I think
Thank you.
I don't think he's had the level of offensive coordinators that they have with the Giants. I think the O-line in Chicago is just as
Terrible.
bad. I think the decision making by the head coach is just as bad.
The defense.
But at the end of the day, y'all come up here and tell me he's just a bad thrower of football. He just this, that, and the third.
Yeah, I don't believe
That's not correct.
But y'all come
Meek,
up
that's
here-
what you
Hold on,
said.
hold on,
You
hold on,
literally
let me
said
finish,
that,
let me
Meek.
finish, let me finish,
You
let
said
me
that
finish.
he's not.
You
he
come up
sucks.
here
He
and
can't throw
violate
the
Justin.
ball.
I'm not
You
saying
literally
he
you
can't
said
throw
that.
the ball.
It's
You
not just
said
you,
he
Meek.
cannot
It's
throw the
not just
ball,
you.
Meek.
It's
That's
not
what
I
you
just
said.
blamed him for throwing that
It's not just
pick.
you, Meek. It's
He
not
was
just you,
20
Meek.
for 25 until
It's
he
not
threw
just
the
you.
pick.
It's not just you.
It's
There's
his
other people.
decision making in crunch
It's not just
time,
you.
bro.
Meek, it's not just you. But my thing is, Daniel Jones been very mid-tier since he's entered this league.
That's a fact.
And there's some glaring, and I think there's some more glaring things about Daniel Jones that have gotten completely swept under the rug, and nobody talks about it. Like, for example, I said this before early in Meek, and this is why I keep saying, y'all can't explain this one to me. How come he throws more interceptions when Saquon Barkley is not in the lineup? You know why they throw more interceptions?
Because he doesn't have his safety valve. He's not a good decision maker.
The reason why he throws more interceptions when Saquon Barkley isn't playing, and Random, you go next. The reason why he can't do that is because me.
I got some questions to ask.
When the play action is eliminated from the Giants and they have to ask Daniel Jones to just throw the football, to drop back and throw the football, he's not capable of doing that at a high level. And the other thing about that,
said real fast.
Quick.
Another thing about what I've been saying since Saquon is out, bro, my offense should have looked the same as if he's playing, bro. It's like they're still running the offense as if Saquon's playing, bro.
But nobody respects your run game no more, and that's the problem. And so because you have to
change it. That's on the OC. He got to come up with something.
But the thing is, your quarterback has to be able to get the ball out of his hands.
But
he can't do that, bro.
Wait. Have you seen the stats?
He's not.
Daniel Jones has been the most pressured quarterback this year, last year, since he came in the league.
Come on, man.
Now his O-line.
Enough. I've heard enough. This is the point. He's
the league leader in interceptions, bro. And some of that is on him too.
Last year.
Meek, this
he's
is the
league leader.
10 touchdowns, Meek.
He threw 15 touchdown passes last year. Give me a break.
15. Come on,
don't even say that like that. Don't even say that.
Enough. No, Meek. This is the thing. No. Hold up, early. Let me go. This is the problem. This is the absolute problem that y'all don't want to admit. He's not good enough. He's not. And you let Eli Manning and his brother walk up to your front office and convince you because he reminds you of Eli a little bit because they look kind of the same. He's not good enough. Taylor Heineke is better than him.
Honest, bro,
Sam Howell is better. You have the worst quarterback in the division. That's what you have.
You
have the worst quarterback in the division. He's not good enough. He's only throwing 20 touchdowns in the season once. That was his rookie year, but nobody had tape on it. He's not good enough.
I got a question.
He's not good enough.
And you're casual, bro.
Another dude who got his money.
They've been forced to Giants games don't knock off for years.
And you know it. Who just recently got his money? Daniel Jones played last night, right? Geno Smith has never been the guy since he came out of West Virginia. We always thought Geno Smith wasn't shit, right?
He looked like the
Geno
guy
Smith
last
has
year.
a DK Metcalf. He has a Tyler Lockett. He has a Kenneth Walker, who I got on my fantasy team, and it's cooking now. It's cooking.
No, you also
forget.
You also forget that he took years. He sat for years behind a Pro Bowl quarterback and learned the game. You can't just do that part.
But early.
Geno, first of all, Randall, Geno Before he was with Seattle, Geno had been bounced all over the league. What are you talking about?
Then what did he do? What did he do? He sat behind Russell.
But he has a DK Metcalf, a Tyler Lockett, a Kenneth Walker. You think if Daniel Jones had the same weapons? You think
he wouldn't be as good?
Nah, he wouldn't be.
Why did you just say he sat behind Russell Wilson?
Yes, he did.
For years in Seattle, he sat behind Russell before he went to years.
Bro, nobody can hurt you. No, nobody. I just want, hey, fellas, I just want y'all to know, hey, fellas,
and then y'all gonna do the same.
I just want y'all to know.
They're not the same.
When y'all all chime in,
bro.
I just want y'all to know when y'all all chime in at the same time. I don't know what anybody's saying at that point. I just want to keep. I'm gonna keep. Nah, y'all good. I'm just letting y'all
Random,
know.
Who you like? That you saw.
Early, let me.
I'm not just gonna sit in if I had a squad.
Go ahead, Bama. Go ahead, Bama.
Delay somebody just because he's on my team.
I'm just saying, J-Rob, if you wanted to, you could mute all of them at the same time.
I know, but the thing is, I want them.
Childish right now.
I want them to be able to go. Like I want to hear what they have to say. I want them to have. I want them to be able to speak. But I'm just letting y'all know, like, come on.
Early, here's my problem with that. Like, I understand where you're coming with.
All yelling at the same time.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I'm the answer. I just don't want to admit it.
I'm just listening.
I'm bad at sports.
No, I'm not talking about you, Grant. Nah, I'm just kidding. Now y'all can get excited, but you feel me? Listen. This is coming from the top down, bro. Y'all, this is why I be on y'all by the webcams and all that. It's not coming from J-Rob. I'll be the liaison, but it ain't coming from me. I'm just
well, man, we can keep his camera on. We don't want to see his face anyway.
Hey, man.
This is coming from
damn.
Sweet.
Hey, Early, I think I understand your comparison and where you're coming
from. Go ahead,
P5. But like, what if Daniel Jones could be like Geno? Like, what if he could be a guy that we don't think is very good, but then when he gets the weapons around him and the necessary personnel, he could be really good. My problem with that is I don't think Daniel Jones is that accurate. B, I just think the pocket awareness of Daniel Jones. I'm not sure if that's something that can just be coached into existence for him, because that's been a problem for him ever since he was at Duke. It's been a problem for him since he's been in the league, and it hasn't really improved much. So I just feel like Daniel Jones just has problems.
What did you say his problem was again?
Pocket awareness and just
okay.
Bryce Young does too.
Well, yeah, and that's why that was one of my problems with him as a prospect.
But he had it in Alabama.
But it's not nearly to the extent of Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is a guy that he just doesn't sense pressure at all. He just doesn't sense pressure. Let's be honest. He doesn't sense pressure. Doesn't protect the ball. Not good at making plays when under pressure. I just don't think Daniel Jones is a good player. I just don't think he's very good.
But I don't think I do not glorify people who have the weapons. And
I never liked him at Duke.
Like a Joe Burrow.
Ain't no way
we're clowning people who don't have.
We're no way we're comparing a guy like
Daniel Jones. Now you're cooked. Now you're officially cooked. Now I'm about to put you on a
Joe Burrow.
Daniel ain't got Jamar Chase.
I'm gonna put you on a skillet.
He doesn't.
He's also just not as good as Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is a better player than Daniel Jones. What are we doing?
I didn't say it.
What are we doing? He's just a better player, Early.
I'm about to put you on an absolute skillet because no way.
Round up about that Joe Burrow, huh?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why, because the Joe Burrow example was horrible. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the first 2 years in the NFL, Joe Burrow was the most pressured and most sacked quarterback in all of football.
And look at what he did.
Y'all know I'm playing. I'm trolling.
Yeah, you got to troll.
You got to take that back.
I don't want y'all to understand. This is the last part. This is the last part of this whole Daniel Jones thing because I want to move on. Here's the last thing about the Daniel Jones thing. This conversation would not matter if they didn't re-up on this kid. And y'all got to understand, y'all can talk to me about these weapons. You can talk to me about he don't got these weapons, this, that, and the third. But the coaching staff decided they're going to put their faith into him. And y'all can talk about these weapons. Y'all can talk to me about this O-line. But on the field in the game that I watched, Daniel Jones was coming to that sideline hearing an earful from his head coach. So clearly that means, bro, there are better decisions you could have made out there that he sees that Daniel Jones isn't seeing. Of the 10 sacks that he had last night, all 10 were just from a lack of blocking?
About 8.
Not all of them.
7, 8.
No.
About 7, 8.
No. But the thing is, there's a lot of sacks that Jones has.
He's not looking to run every play.
But the thing
I know that.
To go run.
You gotta get rid of the ball, though.
He's got to get rid of the ball because if he doesn't run the ball,
pressure quarterback.
You can't just sit in the pocket and hold the ball for 5 seconds.
Here's the thing about Daniel Jones. I understand if you want to say yes.
Brent, why are you shaking your head?
Listen,
It's just there's issues with it when I watched the guy throw 2 interceptions. I was just talking about this earlier.
But
That's
until
the stat line last night, right? This is so far for the season 4 games.
Go before the pick.
No, I'm gonna give you what his stat line's been these past 4 games that y'all have played, right? He's right now in this season, he's 90 for 131 with 68% completion. He's thrown for 765 yards. He's only thrown 2 touchdowns and he's thrown 6 interceptions. I am getting to a point
the NFL.
Can I speak?
In the season. Let me just say this point and I'll let you speak. My thing with this is, I think at this point that they have given that man 4 years to be able to at least give you some performance level, and the fact that it's still the same is starting to get Giants fans especially, and then the coaching to a point where they have to ask themselves, how much longer can we put our faith in this guy? I don't doubt Daniel Jones' ability. I just think right now he is not the guy that the New York Giants need to be able to build a
We agree on that.
the move for the future. Here's the thing. Also, hold up. One more point. Let me make this one more point because I haven't really said much. At the end of the day, if he can make a turnaround, because we have to understand, we're only 4 games in. I don't really see right now if he can make a great turnaround and be able to change everything he's doing. But we have to wait and see, because the biggest problem is I feel like if he starts to have a bunch of good games, we're going to come back to this later and we're going to start saying like, oh, Daniel Jones is bad 4 games. Now he's coming out here and he's cooking. So I think we just have to wait and see, because I'm not going to throw the towel in for him yet. I think you still have to just give. I think if he doesn't play well next week, then you have to start asking serious questions about what y'all want to do.
He's just not very good.
As a Giants fan,
my father Giants fan.
As a Giants fan, I'm over Daniel Jones. I will say that. But I don't think Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback. I think Daniel Jones could be a player.
When has he shown you glimpses of him being a good quarterback?
It's been plenty of years.
Can I
plenty of times.
I just asked you a question when you naturally stop talking.
For my Giants. But I think he can lead a team to the playoffs with the right pieces around him, with the right mentorship, with the right people in his ear, because Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. It's just in the crunch time, he tends to lose his head. Whatever it is, he just
when the game's on the line, he
can't perform. I would agree with you on that.
So Danny Dimes
and neither can Patrick Mahomes when he go against Joe Burrow.
I just need to ask you whatever.
No, I got. What? Let me say something. So when it comes down to it, when it comes to Daniel Jones, and I'm not really a fan of this discussion about, if he's on the right system, on the right team, he could do a Geno Smith. 1, Geno Smith is an anomaly. That typically doesn't happen.
Facts.
And 2, any quarterback in the NFL in the right system can be better than what they are. But you got to recognize what Daniel Jones' ceiling is. Daniel Jones' ceiling is not that good. There are quarterbacks that you are much more willing, like perfect example.
That's why you got yourself.
Justin Fields is having similar issues where the weapons are comparable. Justin Fields is getting pressured a lot, and he's making very dumb mistakes.
You would rather Justin Fields over Daniel Jones?
In terms of his ceiling, I gotta finish.
Because of athleticism.
What is his ceiling? Donovan McNabb?
Oh my, J-Rob McNabb.
I'm not done.
Hold on. Listen to this. Here,
hold on.
And he turned the ball over less though.
Yeah.
Wait. Because he runs it 80% of the time.
Oh wait, let Mark go.
No.
1 second.
Before everybody starts jumping in. So the point of what I was making is that Daniel Jones' ceiling is way less than Justin Fields' ceiling.
Exactly.
Justin Fields and what people's expectations of who he can be based off his talent is way higher than Daniel Jones, especially considering Daniel Jones has been in the league for a very, very, very long time.
He's been in the league 3 years.
Very, very long.
Justin Fields been in 2.
In comparison,
Justin Fields do the Danny can't.
In
What
comparison,
can he do that Daniel Jones
He's got a bigger arm. He's got a far bigger arm.
Bigger arm and faster. He's a bigger arm and it's faster.
He
He's a
passed
bigger arm and it's faster.
He's faster by a little bit.
Better arm.
By a little bit.
Daniel Jones got straight line speed. He ain't juking nobody out the way Justin
But
Fields.
he got, you know that's it, right?
Basically,
That's straight line speed.
Stop it.
If you can get yards,
Let me give you guys some context, please.
Go ahead, Randy.
Let me give you. Okay, here are Daniel Jones's and Justin Fields' stats this season. Just like Grant said, he's 90 for 130. What was it? 90 for 131, 765, 5.8 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, 6 picks. He's been sacked 22 times. He's also ran the ball 34 times, 175, 173, and 1 touchdown. Here are Justin Fields' stats. He's thrown less, 79 for 123, 64.2, 861 yards, 7 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, 5 picks. He's also ran the ball for 134 and 1 touchdown.
Note the completion percentage. When your completion percentage,
he's throwing league average. That's all you have is completion percentage.
No, listen.
Crazy.
When it's that high and he's not throwing any touchdowns, you have to question the play caller. What's going on?
Untalented, man. He's untalented. He's not good enough. He's not good enough.
What is that?
This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. If you have to, now you're saying if you give him this, if you give him that, that is true for every quarterback. But from 3 years, Meek, if Daniel Jones played for the Commanders, you wouldn't be saying this. If you played for the Commanders and he had these exact same stats, you wouldn't be saying this, Meek. The same way you don't give him nearly enough heat that you do Justin Fields, and you know I'm right, Meek. He's not good enough. He's not good enough to get you where you want to go. And the fact that you think that he's Eli Manning is crazy. They're both not good enough. Then give Daniel Jones the same amount of heat that you give Justin Fields, and I would be okay. But you're not giving him all these. You're giving him all these breaks. That's what you're giving him. He's not good enough for you. That's why you're giving that money. You're going to have to pay this man $40 million that he does not deserve. And meanwhile, you're not going to pay Saquon anything.
Is that all?
Yes,
no.
They have a potential out 2 years from now, P5.
Okay.
That's when they can get off the contracts. Now you got 2 more years of Daniel Jones.
So my question is,
if you guys draft Shador, what are you going to do? Are you going to
how
long before you put Shador in the game?
Well,
how long before you put Shador? Now you got a $40 million quarterback.
Y'all just shouldn't have paid him that much money in the first place. He deserved it.
We agree.
At the end of the day,
can I ask y'all a question?
Go ahead, bro.
Y'all, then I'd be quiet.
You good?
But based off of last year, y'all didn't see an improvement coming into this year. Be real.
I saw a
Can I go first? I'll go first. Meek, I'll answer your question.
Yeah, it's like he stepped back this year, man.
I don't know what happened. Bro.
I think personally, he played better, but I don't think his improvement was significant. Like people tried to make it seem going into this year. Like I think people overrated his improvement last year as if this year he was going to emerge as some star quarterback. And that's where I think people got it effed up at, because I ultimately think
I don't think star quarterback, J-Rob. I think
a lot of people listen, I was told on this platform specifically that Daniel Jones. Hold on, let me finish. I was told on this platform that Daniel Jones next year was going to be a top 10 quarterback.
But you're talking to me though. You're talking to me. I didn't say that.
All right, no, I'm talking to you.
Oh no, we straight up edited the show with you saying
I'm answering your question in totality. I'm giving you my perspective of what I think about him last year, and so why people why this year, the way he's performing this year got so many people out of their minds. And I think it's because of what they expected him to be this year. And I don't think he did much last year where people should have had this grand expectation. Understanding offensive line not good, wide receiving talent wasn't great. But in retrospect, bro, you in early. This is your first day up here, bro.
My bad.
Come on, this is your first day out here, gang.
I've never heard nobody say that though. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm telling you,
I've heard a lot of people.
I've heard a lot of Giants fans. I've heard a mixture of Giants fans come up on this platform and talk to me about Daniel Jones looking great last year. And so last year, bro, in perspective, bro, he only threw 15 touchdown passes. They were able to rush the ball in the playoff game against literally the worst rushing defense in all of football, and not only the most overrated defense in football. The Vikings were the worst good team in football last year. No bullshit. I think I would all agree with that.
Don't discredit them though. Come on, man.
I think they were.
It was a perfect matchup.
When I say they were by far the worst defensive team in football, and if they didn't get off to that 8-0 start, that salvaged their year, because that's what they got them. That's what got them that push to getting on the back end. Because they got them.
There.
Yeah. So I like what Dabo trying to do with Dimes. I really do like what Dimes with actually I'm not calling him Dimes. He got to get that name.
Yeah, he don't throw Dimes.
It's over that Danny Dunn pennies because at the end of the day, I just look at it and I'm like, Brian Dabo did the most with this kid, but I just personally don't think it's enough. But before we get into this college football, I do want to ask earlier a question because he brought up something interesting to me. You brought up your Panthers. And obviously, but I think obviously because AR-15 and clearly CJ Stroud have been off to. I mean, CJ Stroud's been off to one of the best rookie
J-Rob, don't let me cook you. That ain't why.
No. I want to hear your opinion. I'm asking your opinion, and I think right now Bryce Young's been under fire, and I think the reason why he's been under fire is because of how good CJ's been out the gate. And I think the way AR been utilized in the Colts, but I want to hear your thoughts on it so this
is the thing about your boy. I never wanted him. First of all, he's undersized and he doesn't
have my boy. I said CJ Stroud should be the first.
Don't say that. Bama come out of
Bryce is not only undersized, he's little. As far as his frame, he doesn't have a stocky frame like a Russell Wilson. 2, I watch every Alabama game, and this is one of the reasons why Alabama quarterbacks don't work out because they're spoon-fed at Alabama. Alabama has the biggest O-line, the biggest D-line. Between Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, and Clemson, they receivers sell like hotcakes in the draft. Like when you got
that is true actually.
When you get spoon fed like that, you got the biggest lines. You got the most time. Your defense is always getting you on the field in good positions. You got the best receivers. I watched him when the NIL deal came along and teams started to level up with Alabama, and now Saban started crying. One thing I never respected Saban because he left Miami years ago in the middle of the season, so I never respected him. So that's one. That's not really.
He left after the season.
I respect I respect.
So he left when Alabama offered him the job.
A reason why Saban.
I thought Bobby Petrino was the one
talking about Colorado and they paying these guys because now you can't get the best of the best. Now it's equal playing field. And what you see with the NIL deal, once you stop being equal playing field, Alabama ain't as good no more. I seen when Bryce Young got rushed, he was terrified. And I watched this at Alabama. When that O-line couldn't hold up against the Georgias, I seen Bryce Young, he was terrified. It showed me like, you're spoon-fed. When you got everything working, you clicking. But CJ Stroud, I seen him. Ohio State ain't never been as good as Alabama. Again, Mac Jones. These quarterbacks get spoon-fed. Spoon-fed. The biggest lines, the best receivers, the best running games. Now, you're going to a place where you have none of that. You have to show me. AR showed me
there's so much more wrong with Mac Jones.
He can get it done.
Bama hasn't said anything yet. I'm not going to lie.
We got to give kudos to AR-15, though. The game he played is...
So early, I want to hear what's your projection on Bryce Young? So, like, what do you think he's going to be for your organization?
After last week's game, I'm officially rooting against Bryce Young every game forward.
What?
Why? I pray to God we go 0-17, and we can get Caleb Williams. And just like how we did,
it's been 4 games.
Just like that we did with Cam and Jimmy Clarkson.
Do you have your first pick?
Bryce Young can.
No, they don't.
I think they got rid of that. They got rid of that when they traded DJ Moore.
You don't have your first pick.
You're not getting Caleb Williams.
Bro,
every 4 games it is rookie.
Early. First of all, you don't even have your pick.
He was a Heisman winner at Alabama, and you're gonna
at Alabama,
and he's on a team right now. You can't. No. Time out. This is his first year. He just got drafted into the league. He's been in the league for.
Grant, hold up.
You don't have it.
No, because the problem is this is what I hate about fans in this league.
You don't have
y'all get a quarterback in the draft, right? That's brand new and it's his rookie year. He has 1 to 3 games where he plays like that, and then everyone's like, we gotta get rid of the quarterback.
I've never been a fan of him. I want to see that.
Hold up, let Grant finish. Early, let Grant finish, please.
But my problem is this: it's been 4 games. You have to understand he's dealing with an ankle injury too. On top of that, that's also affecting his play. You have to give him time. It's 4 games in his first season.
What do you see, Glimpse? What do you see?
He can run the ball. He can escape pressure in the pocket. He is a great passer. He can run the ball extremely well in pressure situations. If he's in pressure, he can get out of the pocket and score plays.
Why doesn't he do it?
Because his O-line is freaking garbage, and when he gets the ball out, he's got no one to throw it to.
The same O-line that when
you cut out. You cut out.
You cut out. You
cut
cut
out.
out.
Said out.
I'm glad he cut out. I'm glad he cut out Twin because he was over there lying. First off,
Bryce Young is not as bad as he's saying.
Bryce Young.
He wants Patrick Mahomes, bro. He just wants Patrick Mahomes right the game.
Let him go.
Of the star-studded quarterbacks that came through Alabama, Bryce Young was one of the very few that suffered from a lack of resources and offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
Offensive line was putrid when Bryce Young was at Alabama.
Wide receivers weren't
Bryce
good.
Young had at Alabama because he did not scramble enough for how bad the offensive line was. That was his number one issue right there. Hold on 1 second.
Oh my God!
Wait.
Let him go.
Bryce don't got it.
Number two, he also suffered from lackluster play calling. When he had great play calling with Steve Sarkisian, he won you the Heisman his first year up under center. When he had a competent offensive coordinator that can tailor to the people that was around him.
Name his weapons.
Also on top of this too, he had John Mechie, Jameson Williams, and he would have won a national title with those guys if they both didn't blow their ACLs out in back-to-back games. Yes or no? Right or wrong?
He also had Gibbs.
Yes.
First round draft pick.
He should have. If those ACL injuries hadn't happened.
You talking about the second? We talking about the second year. I'm talking about stay with him when we had start. You holding Bill O'Brien accountable for him, but I just told you that his second year he had a horrible offensive line, led the league, and that offensive line was bottom tier in the SEC. Gave up. I think they was like down at the bottom for the most sacks, pressures. On top of that, and it was pretty much Bryce or bust in every football game we played in. Even in those games where we lost 1 point, it was Bryce or bust.
You're making my point.
If you look at those route patterns they had, that was all on the offensive coordinator. So you over here talking about reading, he can't read, his pocket awareness is garbage. Listen, the only thing with Bryce,
he holds the ball too long.
That's why I said you lied, bro. Because if anything, Bryce Young is a great improviser from deep pocket. That's where he got his comparisons with Russell Wilson and all of them, how he improvised within the pocket.
But Bama.
His only scratch was he did not run vertically down. He was not a willing runner when it was time where it was like, damn, Bryce, the middle is wide open. Run, take that. That was his only scratch. He never took that. He always tried to run around and find that little magical play. That was his only thing. Yeah.
So Bama, let me ask you something. So you said the first year his line was stacked, like I said. But when his line wasn't as good, he didn't look as good. That's one. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me go. Now, on top of that, we're talking about college. They compare him to Russell Wilson in college. As we know, those defenders are way different in the National Football League. So you can be a good improviser of the ball when you have Alabama line versus a college line, but now we're in the pros and it's a whole different ball game. He's not showing that. He holds the ball way too long. He's not showing that same pocket awareness that he was showing back when he was in Alabama. He's very timid in that pocket. Very timid. And again, I know because I watched Andy Dalton when he was out last week throw the ball all over the field with the same line and the same receivers.
And he don't have 10 years of NFL pro experience.
Could it be?
But if the O-line sucks, the O-line sucks.
And
you gotta give him time, bro.
The 10 years of experience they don't have.
Let me ask you this question. We talked about Let me ask you this question. Let me ask Early this question. Early. So you see what the Miami Dolphins look like right now? You see what they look like right now? Answer my question. Just answer my question. Don't get animated. Don't go off. You see what the Miami Dolphins look like right now?
I watched what they asked this week.
Do you think? Not regardless of them getting their ass whooped. You see the Dolphins, right? They look like a real good team. They look like a team that can make some noise in the NFL, right?
Yep.
Right? You can agree with that, right?
Yep.
Do you think Ryan Fitzpatrick would have had that team looking like this?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, no, you did not just say
You're not being honest. You're not being honest.
You're lying right now.
You're not being honest.
Early. If you're gonna say that, then say the same thing for AR. Because what is it? Gardner Minshew came in and he beat the Ravens 2 weeks ago. Let's say this.
Oh, but I think that Gardner Minshew is actually. I always thought he was a legit quarterback. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I always thought he was a quarterback. I did. I thought he was way better than
negate the experience. You can't 10 years. Andy Dalton has 10 years of experience, both going into the playoffs and winning playoff. I believe he won at least one playoff game there. He has 10 years of this pro experience as a franchise quarterback.
But what I'm saying,
of course, he knows how to get the ball out.
No weapons to throw it to, but yet
4 games
and throw it to them same weapons.
No, I agree.
Here's the thing: if this
you can't
was like,
say he has no weapons. That's just a disingenuous.
I'm not
That's
saying
what y'all
that.
said though. Y'all said he got no
experience.
He does have weapons.
That's 10 years of experience. Early. So I should fire. So I have a company, and I just hired this guy, and then after 4 weeks of work, I should fire him. And then the guy who's been here for 10 years and was able to do his job because that guy got hurt. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
You should fire him when there's another guy who you could have got a position to, but you didn't give it to him.
No, but you have
so we should fire you for hiring him, and we should fire him.
Early. You just hired this guy. He's very highly touted. Just came out of college, okay? And he's doing your position. He's young, but you're like, if he's young, we mold him. He's the one that we want to hire in the future. But of course, like every young quarterback, you give him a veteran, a guy who knows how to study film, how to conduct himself in the locker room. Hold on, early. Let me finish. All right. How to conduct himself in the locker room, how to approach meetings, how to approach the media. And of course, the guy gets hurt. Bryce Young could not control that. He gets hurt. The guy comes in with 10 years of experience that he's seen almost anything that could happen on an NFL football field, and he runs the offense better. That's where eventually where you want Bryce Young to get. He just doesn't have the experience.
So then when he comes
because
back,
he doesn't have the experience because he can't do it.
So
you're asking for something only the anomalies could do. Patrick Mahomes, like Deshaun Watson, Tom. You're asking for that kind of level of production.
You're not getting
which is
point.
crazy.
You're not getting his point. The point is you can't blame everything else around Bryce Young for why he's playing bad.
But it's
I never said there was. I'm not gonna blame everything around Bryce Young for being bad. It's just you have to understand. It's 4 games, and we're already saying that y'all want to tank and get someone else. That's my problem.
Bears have your pick, so you can't take. Tanking helps the Bears.
Early, you do not have your first round pick. You're not getting
take it. Only helps the Bears. You don't have to pick.
I'm here. I know. I'm just talking shit, but. I say this though. What I say is that I never believed that Bryce Young was a first overall pick. Okay, I think Bryce Young is a Jordan Love. I think Bryce Young is a guy who should sit behind somebody, like he should have sat behind somebody and then learn the game. I don't think he was ready to hop in the game right now. You don't put a Bryce Young in when your O-line is up to par because then they're going to crucify him anyway. Again, you don't fire a guy when he only has 4 days on the job versus a guy with 10 years on the job. What you do though is I fire you for hiring that guy when there was another guy his same position that's doing better with less work. And you hired him instead. So both of y'all can go.
Experience.
You know how to
handle that better. Early, Andy Dalton has 10 years of experience. So he knows how to handle these situations better. You are asking this quarterback who's only been on the job for so short to figure out all these complex things that a 10-year-old veteran knows because he went through those same growing pains. So he knows. That's what the problem is. You're trying to fire this guy off this potential and go. You know what? Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do this and draft another quarterback and release Bryce Young in the market. Watch how quickly 20 other teams are coming for him. Watch how quickly they do it. The Giants. Hey, Daniel.
I would love the Falcons.
I'm gonna pull a chill. My father always taught me for every girl idolize, it's a nigga nerve she getting on right now.
Oh,
so you can have them.
That's not the
You can get them, but you'll deal with the same thing we deal with. Just because you want him, mean he good.
But to say Bryce Young is good after 4 games is crazy, though.
No, I'm not saying he's not good. He's not a number one. He's not a guy you trade all your picks for.
You would rather have
number one. You need a Cam Newton.
Cool G. They said the same thing about Drew Brees. They said the same thing about Russell Wilson. And both those guys won Super Bowls. What are we talking about?
Man, Russell, stop it with this Russell Wilson. Stop it.
I'm just saying. You said he's too small to do really well in the league. Was Russell Wilson not? Did he not have good years in the league?
Doesn't have Russell's build or footwork.
Who cares? So Drew Brees was built. Drew Brees was built early. Drew Brees was built.
So who was you? But here's the thing, though. Drew Brees got a good offensive coordinator. When he played for the Chargers, he wasn't as good. Drew Brees got a second chance at life and became a Hall of Fame quarterback. Is what I'm saying to you. Okay, became a Hall of Fame quarterback. A lot of times, quarterbacks will have a good system. Or they'll be a part of a bad system to get with a good system with a good team with some actual talent, and then you show up. Like I never thought Tua was bad.
Did you think Joe Burrow was a number 1 quarterback after 4 games?
Joe Burrow?
Did you think he was a number 1 pick?
Because he was getting sacked all the time. No offensive line.
I think Joe Burrow showed you in different ways that he was a number one quarterback. I think he showed you in different ways. It wasn't, again, it's about, and I hate to be the eye test guy, but like when you actually watch a guy, I watch how timid Bryce Young is. He is not ready for the game right now.
Disagree.
He is not ready for the game right now. So if we're going to keep him, sit him on the bench, let Andy Dalton play, so that way
don't make sense. No team does that anymore. What Bryce Young, what Jordan Love went through is now the exception. It's not what they do now. You put young quarterback.
You're letting the organization
listen early. You put the young quarterback. No, early. You put the young quarterback on the field and see if he can figure it out. If he can't figure it out, you get another one.
I mean, I don't disagree with the idea.
So
I just don't think they're gonna do that.
You don't do that.
This is the best.
I have to ask you, Brandon, real quick,
Brandon,
please.
Yeah.
But Brandon, are you talking about just for first round quarterbacks? Because I see like second and third round quarterbacks. That happens to them all the time.
Exactly.
You talking about first rounders?
First round quarterbacks.
It's just
the most valuable asset in the NFL
all right,
is a rookie
that's
quarterback contract.
But my thing is, Brandon, if he's a number one overall, he got to be a Cam Newton, an Andrew Luck. He wasn't that.
But that's what they're looking for in the future. It's not just immediately. Those guys got great also. You get that number one quarterback for the next 15 years.
Cam came in his first year. He showed you his first year.
It's been 4 games early.
In 4 games, Cam Newton came out through.
Cam Newton came out through 400 yards in his first 2 games. What did he do the rest of the season? Nobody remembers because he wasn't good enough.
Rookie season?
Hey, Random, you tripping, bro?
No, listen. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. He came out through 400 yards, right? Sure, he won Offensive Rookie of the Year, but you're telling me that he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. That's what you're asking.
What you're telling me is that I gave a guy a trophy for being the best rookie in his draft, but I don't remember what you did after game 2.
Then tell me what but you're asking. You're
cooking you.
Oh my God, that's what teams do all the time. The Bears have just The Bears have just done that. Did they not have? They had Jay Cutler, then that didn't work. Then they had Mr. Trubisky, then that didn't work. Now they have Justin Fields, that didn't work. Now they're going to draft somebody else. They're going to keep doing it. You're acting like this stuff doesn't happen.
But I guess my thing is,
bro, I just can't believe Early said I'm done. I want to go 0-16. Like that was what killed me.
That's my problem.
Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison.
You gotta understand though. As a true fan, when you like literally, dog, we had the Vikings on the hook, and this dude holds the ball. Tries again. Y'all say he good in the pocket, but in the NFL, he's showing he's not as good. He gets sacked in a
he's
sack
a rookie.
fumble.
He's only played 4 games. What CJ Stroud is doing is the anomaly, not the norm.
No. What CJ Stroud done has been done by multiple rookies: Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, Justin Herbert. That's fact. I can name multiple rookies.
Okay, all the first ones. No. You're naming the best of them, J-Rob. You're naming the best of them. Josh Rosen could barely get on the field. What are we talking about?
Random.
I can name a plethora of first ones.
RG3 was ready to go right away, bro.
Right away.
Andrew Luck, right away. It's all right.
Andrew Luck, right away.
You're naming the exception.
Hey, Manny, right away.
You're naming the exception.
Donovan McNabb. You talking about
right away.
You talking about exceptions?
All right,
you talking about? No, I ain't gonna lie. Random. There's no way you can say these guys are exceptions when I name about 10 people, bro.
And I can name 20 more. What are we talking? 20 more.
Wait, I'm gonna shut about this.
First round quarterback.
You're saying
not the rule. What are we talking
guys
about?
that I'm talking about?
CJ Stroud or AR. Okay.
Random. The guys I just
only quarterback in this draft.
The guys I just named.
That's
the guys I just named were all first. Literally, all the names that I just named about quarterbacks who figured out right away were literally first, second, or third round draft pick. First overall pick. I mean, first, second, or third overall picks. They were top 3 picks. They all got it out of the gate.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on.
I'm not saying.
I'm not saying a question.
I'm not saying that
NFL history. J-Rob, out of NFL history, all the quarterbacks are drafted either number 1, number 2. No, that's the truth. Those are the anomalies. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Hold up, wait.
Not an anomaly. Time out. No, hold on.
What do you mean by anomaly? That's my problem.
Cut me off. Please stop cutting me off.
Exceptions.
Please don't cut me off. There are not no exceptions because this is where I feel like y'all not being realistic. Random. There's more busts than there are success stories.
Yes, and you're not even accepting that. You're not accepting that at all.
To say that they're exceptions, they're not exceptions. I can name multiple guys.
Most quarterbacks who are drafted bust.
Name multiple guys, bro.
And I can name you multiple guys who didn't do it in the same position.
It's not only exclusive to the quarterback position, bro. I can name hella busts that went first, second, third, top 5, top 10.
I can't believe you
that
guys
did not pan
random,
out.
but random.
This is a true fact that you
This
guys
is
are
what
just
I'm saying,
absolving.
Random. This is
No,
what
we're
I'm
not
saying.
absolving
You're saying
anything, bro. We
he's
just don't
not an
agree with
anomaly,
you.
right? But yet there's a quarterback who plays for the Houston Texans who is doing very well that we could have got. That's what I'm saying. You acting like no quarterbacks in this draft have been good. We have two other quarterbacks,
Those words
black
never even came out
quarterbacks,
my
who
mouth.
have
I
been
legitimately
awesome
was
their first
blazing
4
CJ
games,
Stroud
and we got
earlier.
the guys who ain't that good.
All
That's
4
what I feel like.
games.
I
All
did
Well, I
4
think that, all
games.
right, well, let's move on. We'll get to this Bryce thing later. Shonen, please. Last comment, Shonen. And one of y'all, I ain't gonna lie, one of y'all interrupt him to go on a tangent. I'm just taking you off. Shonen, get this out, and we got to move on.
Real quick. I kind of get where you're coming from early, especially when you think about your draft, your trading up to get in the draft for the first round pick. A lot of those times when you're doing that, you're expecting that next one. So I gotta get where you're coming from because I don't know if Bryce Young is that next one. So I'm with you.
All right, so let's move on because we got to get to the title of the show, and obviously everybody wants to hear this college talk early. I hope your college bag is as deep as your NFL bag.
It's everything over here is deep.
Hey,
Hey,
yo,
sir.
What's that ball? No balls don't matter no more.
But why you even have to say it? Actually,
Sir,
hold on,
what
hold
you
on. Let me
saying over here?
Hey, hold on. Let me read this super chat real quick by Drink More Water. After week 1, I sent a super chat about a high amount of sacks, 2.9 per team so far through 4 weeks. There's an average of 2.6 sacks per team, which is up from last 3 years. Well, obviously, of course, Drink More Water. I'm glad you put that out there because you know what that says, Drink More Water? That means the D-liners are getting better and better by the year. Defenses are catching up. Defenses are starting to catch up with these high-powered offense. Shout out to Drink More Water with that super chat. All right. College football Cinderellas. So right now, when I say Cinderellas in college football, I'm thinking of like the TCUs of the world. Teams that can make a late, that could potentially be a party crasher in the college football playoffs, or obviously we get to that December part of the year, one of these teams could come around and be a shocker. So right now, I'm going to give you a list of some of the leftover undefeated teams that are not named Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, Florida State, or Washington. Oregon as well. So these are some of the Cinderellas that I personally would consider Cinderella that are undefeated. Penn State, Oklahoma, Washington State, North Carolina, the U, Kentucky, Missouri, Louisville, and then the group of 5. So these are your mid-majors. Fresno State is 5-0, Air Force is 5-0, and James Madison is 5-0.
All of them suck.
But obviously, none of those group. Obviously, none of them group of 5. Yeah, obviously, none of them group of 5s are probably going to get into the playoffs this year because I think more than ever, college football has so much parity that I don't think a mid-major will be able to pull a Cincinnati. But the teams that I've said, and then I can give you some one-loss teams: Oregon State, Duke, Notre Dame. So are these teams? What teams? Kansas
Alabama.
As well.
There's only one team.
Only
one team you named out of them teams is legit. Washington State. Michael Penix Jr. is a problem.
Washington. That's Washington. Washington State is DeAndre Ward.
You talking about
DeAndre Ward. Michael Penix right now is number 1 on my Heisman list. Right now.
He's
ridiculous. The way he's
going to anybody's house and cook them.
That's true. Ahead, I think
I can't hear you.
You're muted. You're muted. Meek, you're muted.
Well, you could take Kentucky out of that because they finna lose. That's all I want to say. Just take them out.
Legit.
We finna spank them.
Who's we? Who's we?
Texas
Georgia, bro.
Texas ain't legit.
Georgia's your team? Since when?
Yes.
Get out.
Talked about
Get him out.
We did.
Y'all can't score offensively though. Y'all can't score.
So I ain't gonna lie though. So y'all saying Kentucky is.
Yeah, Kentucky plays Georgia.
Kentucky playing Georgia. I give Kentucky no grace to give Georgia a run for their money.
Auburn could run for.
No, I don't. I think it's going to be close because here's the thing with Georgia. Here's the thing. The last 2 games that I've seen them play against SEC opponents, South Carolina and this last week against Auburn, games where I felt like that if this was last year's Georgia team, they would have wiped them out in the first half. Both of these games have been very close and it's come to the wire.
Georgia can't score.
Georgia can't score on the offense, and it's not even that. When they get,
damn, let my man finish his take. Damn,
my problem.
God, damn. Go ahead, Grant.
Nah, all I was gonna say is if Georgia, I'm not saying that they're gonna blow out Kentucky. I think it's still gonna be a close game because I think Georgia just has. My biggest issue is I don't trust their quarterback. I don't think he's the guy that's going to get them into a position. He's not. When you had a guy like Stetson Bennett who was at 27 playing against 24-year-olds and had all that eligibility, and
they wasn't that good either.
And he won that. And he was 50-50.
But
like,
stacked.
But the team was.
I'm gonna be quiet.
I'm gonna shut up. I'm not gonna.
But at the end of the day, if Georgia, I think the biggest thing that everyone was thinking of the season is, can Georgia three-peat? And honestly, if they keep playing the way they're playing, I don't think they can. No. It's scaring me. I'm not saying that they can't, and I know it's week 6, but if they keep playing like this and having these close games, they're going to have one game where they make a bad mistake at the very end, and then it's going to cost them. Because look at that game that they just played in Auburn. If Auburn's defense wasn't pressuring them as much as they were when they on the offense, I bet you that game would not have been gotten that close.
Can I ask a really nasty question to the panel? Real quick?
Nastiest. I know it's coming.
Oh, I got some smoke that I want to let off.
I gotta ask a nasty question. Let's just say, for the sake of let's say some of these schools finish undefeated, right? Let's just say Texas finished undefeated, Florida State undefeated. Let's say Washington stays undefeated, Oregon stays undefeated, and then Oregon is a one-loss team. Do you think one of these one-loss Pac-12 teams could get in the playoffs over one of these one-loss SEC teams with the level of competition the way the Pac-12 is slated right now? Because I think if we look at the SEC right now, this is not a dominant year by the SEC in terms of the team play. So do you think there is any possibility the SEC can be snubbed if they cannibalize themselves in the college football players? Any chance?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think the CFP. I think the college.
I don't think so. It's been too ingrained in the CFP, even though they keep switching members out, that an SEC team's going to get a spot no matter what. If they're being 100% honest, if Oregon and Washington make it all the way through with how crazy the Pac-12 is this year, whoever the Pac-12 runner-up is, if they have one loss, should get that spot. But they're not. They're going to
refuse to knock Alabama out the top 20.
They will they will give SEC that spot. Even though, if you're being 100% honest this year, I don't think they deserve it. They're going to give the SEC that spot.
And so let me expound on this question, Grant. Answer next, but I just want to expound on the question too. So think about it when you're answering it. Is the SEC bias getting out of hand because is Georgia really the number one team in the country? And let's be honest, is Alabama, Meek, this may be nasty, but is Bama even really a top 15 team in the nation?
No.
I agree with that.
Not with Milk.
Grant, go ahead, Grant.
But before I get into that, I just want to be petty really quick for like 3 minutes. So for those of you who didn't watch Flag on the Play with Trent this on Wednesday, we're talking about the Ole Miss LSU game, and I said Ole Miss is gonna win because I'm from Mississippi. I'm an Ole Miss fan as well as Notre Dame fan. And Trent was like, "Well, when we blow y'all up by 30, y'all will blow up your phone later." So Trent, hotty toddy, bitch. By the way, so now that I got that out the way, with Georgia, my issue is I think they lost a lot of their personnel with that team. And the way they've been playing games against competition that I think if we look at them, they should be teams that they win. Because look at South Carolina. They just had a close game against Georgia, and then they got blown out by Tennessee, who just lost to Florida. My problem is I'm not going to say they're not number one in the country, because I feel like if you're going to put them in that ranking and if they're on this cusp, yeah, they're probably number one.
I just want to know, it's a new year, though, Grant. Isn't it a new year? Isn't it 2023, 2024 season, Grant? Doesn't that matter at all?
No, yes. I would agree with you, J-Rob, but we've repeatedly seen that the CFP does not care about that. SEC bias is real.
Let Bama go. Bama, go ahead. Go ahead, bro. I think Grant was
bias that y'all have against the SEC is real, bro.
Bro.
First off, this is how this goes in my head, bro. This is how I'm finna let y'all know how I think, right?
Here comes 10 years of Alabama dominance. Recap real quick.
A lot of bull.
If you win the national championship,
I've muted myself today.
The path to win a national championship must come through you niggas. So whether y'all want to say, oh, Georgia got an easy schedule, whatever the case may be, they deserve it. They won the title, not once, but twice. They deserve that easy shit. So in my eyes, right, I want to beat who won the national title the year before. So
I don't think that
I
was
feel
good.
like as a committee, we should make it to where no game is guaranteed. No game is guaranteed. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all talking about they struggle with Auburn. Georgia always struggle with Auburn. What are y'all talking about? That is that game between the hit. That is always an epic showdown between Georgia and Auburn. Even when Auburn went to the national championship, it boiled down to it tipped off a Georgia defender hand into a receiver, and that's how Auburn.
Cardo Lewis.
That game always come down to
The
bullshit.
miracle at Jordan-Air.
So I'm not holding it against Georgia, and they also won. Y'all talking about something y'all don't like how Georgia win in the last moments. Florida State
I'm cool with that.
Championship of winning games in the last moments.
I'm cool with that too.
And what that tells you, when them games keep coming down to them last moments, they always gonna answer because they find themselves in their territory all the time, right? What it suffers is what the team that suffers normally is the team that wins convincingly by 20, 30 points every week.
I'm cool with them starting the year as number one.
You're not getting what J-Rock's trying to say, Bama.
Where
Bama doesn't have a Travis, though.
Every play means something. We ain't never been in that like that.
Bama, I agree with that.
Against Georgia, that they win every game by 1 point. Bro, this is a path to go back to the
Nobody's
Natty
saying
3 straight
that,
times in a
Bama.
row. So the name of the game with this shit with Georgia right now, with me, I give them the benefit of the doubt. With Georgia right now,
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but
they're still in the they still have a playoff.
So what's the
y'all
difference?
can address me after this.
Finish. Let him finish.
So with Georgia right now, all my Georgia fans, the benefit that Georgia gets from me, somebody that watched the game, nigga, win the game. I don't care if you win by half a point, quarter point, whatever.
But does that make them the number one
That
team?
should matter, though, Bama.
All
That
right.
should matter.
All right, y'all talking about with that SEC bias, bro. Regardless of whatever y'all want to say when the SEC, bro, these be epic showdowns throughout all the years, bro. It's always been a gauntlet like this. So if you haven't penalized us in the past, don't start penalizing us now.
Okay, but let me ask you.
I'm not penalizing y'all.
Come on.
Y'all
Bama, let me ask you a
root for
question.
teams that win a lot.
Wait, Bama, let me ask you this question. This is my only question. It's not about them having the benefit of the doubt. I'm cool with them being a top 4 seed until proven otherwise, until they lose a game. Should they still be number 1 is my question. Texas is balling. Florida State balling. Michigan balling. They've played.
If they want,
all of them have quarterbacks.
If they want to be number 1,
I'm asking, bro. How are they number 1?
Lift that gold trophy up at the end of the year.
But then that means the committee is disingenuous. The committee says it's supposed to be the polls in the committee every week.
Until the college football playoff committee kicks off. Then they decide the rankings.
It was said that it is based off, it's week to week, it changed week to week, it's based off how the team looks. And this is what they say. I didn't make up the rules. This is what they told the fans and the consumers. That it changes week to week by performance, who's look good, who's look bad. And all I'm saying is Georgia should definitely be a top 4 seed. I'm not even disputing. I think they should be 1. I think they should be 3 or 4 in the country.
You told me they should be 5 the other day, bro. Stop lying. You trying
No, I didn't. Did I say that? I might have been trolling you, Meek. I might have been trolling you. I don't think they should be number 5. But ultimately, I did say that. I was being nasty, though. I was definitely being nasty.
What?
I remember
you
that.
said number
But
5? Wow.
I was being nasty. Though. I was really being.
We wasn't riding when J-Rock said we was not riding with him.
So
I was being nasty that day. But I do think they just definitely should be 3 or 4. I just don't think they're the best team in the nation right now.
No, they're not. Bama, where you from?
Alabama.
Oh my!
And you root for who?
Alabama.
You threw up the U a little bit ago. You didn't throw up the U, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
Y'all didn't answer the question. Y'all didn't answer the question. I said, out of all them teams right now, Miami is one of them Cinderellas that really could shake it up and they could make it.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think Miami's playing amazing football right now.
Let me say this though. Let me say this though.
Answer J-Rob's question.
Answer my question.
I knew Miami was back when they was up by 20-some points and them boys were still out there head hunting. They was really out there letting the pad sound off.
But
I don't know.
Bama, if you think because Georgia won last year, right? Which I get, they won last year.
Get them to turn on the chain.
TCU was in the championship last year too, right? And when Colorado beat them, they only get them up to 22nd spot. Should they been like top 10, top 15 there after they beat TCU?
They didn't.
And we going off of that.
They were 23rd. I think they were 20th when they were.
Why were they the 18th team in the country early?
They were the 18th. That's probably.
They were the 18th team in the country early, but they finished they'd have run, but they would have run it up, but they would have run it up for the Natty. They won the top 10 team.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. Because since you
They
was
could
there
be a
last
top
year
10 team.
So we consider losing players and losing star players and all that.
Against an unranked team.
Hold up.
That they were 27.5 point favorites on.
First, here, I just want to say this quick. First thing, Bama, what you said earlier about Auburn struggling, Georgia struggling against Auburn. The last 5 games, I'm gonna read you off every single scoreline. Right? Last year they won 42-10. 2 years ago they won 34-10. Last year, in 2020, they won 27-6. I'm pulling this from the official Georgia website, so I'm not lying.
You're a phony.
2019, it was 21-14, so that's a close one. I'll give you that. 2018, 27-10. 2017, 28-7. 2017, they lost. So that was 17-40. So that was the one.
The Natty or no?
No, that was not. 2016, 13-7. 2015, 20-13. 2014, 34-7. They have not struggled against Auburn. Auburn has had to go through multiple head coaches.
You, Bama?
What's the close? My problem is that was a close game. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. My problem with it is you're sitting there and saying yes, they can struggle. This is I agree with that. In college football, you can never count any game because we all like. One of my biggest examples this season. Look at Florida State Clemson. If the game on paper, Florida State should have wiped Clemson clean in that whole game. They get to the overtime, and because of a bad screen pass and a bad play,
Clemson
don't give me that look.
In that game.
They sold. And at the end of the day, in a sport where this is why I love college football. Every game counts. In the NFL, you can go 10-6 and you can make the playoffs and still have a chance to make the Super Bowl. In college football,
every game counts.
You have to go undefeated. If you lose one game, it's harder than most. So the problem is with Georgia and looking at their schedule, they don't have a tough schedule ahead of them. But what I feel like is going to happen is they're still going to get that number 1 ranking because they're going to win the East, and then they're going to go to the national championship.
Let me just ask this question, please. Grant, no, finish, Grant. Grant.
They're going to have to play either Alabama or Ole Miss because LSU's done after last week.
Please.
So if anything happens, they're going to kill Ole Miss. I've accepted that fate, so I'm going to just go ahead and say it now.
Let me ask y'all this question because I really got to ask. So let's say, for example, Oregon and Washington, right? They play each other this year. Let's just say, okay, let's say Washington wins the matchup. They play in the Pac-12 championship. Oregon wins. 1 loss Oregon, 1 loss Washington. You telling me that one of them 1-loss teams, Alabama, is a better 1-loss team than any of them 2 1-loss teams right now, bro?
No.
Bama. Who's gonna get the love by the committee with Jalen Milroe?
Alabama is.
So come on, I just think you kind of whack a little bit. It's not being. It's because the thing is, and this is why I love this portal now because this parity there's so much parity coming to college football now. I absolutely love it because Deion is shaking the room next season, bro.
Period. Have big dogs in that line.
Once you get some big dogs, the Big 12 is losing Texas and Oklahoma. It's gonna be a movie in that conference for Colorado. So I love the parity. But I feel like some of this parity is being seen during this 14 playoff year, and I feel like it's going to be whack because I would really hate to see 2 SEC teams. If there's 2 1-loss SEC teams, let's just say for the sake of let's say one of these SEC teams is a 1-loss team and they get in. I don't think any 1-loss SEC team outside of Georgia right now, from what I've watched outside of Georgia, would be a better 1-loss team than Washington or Oregon right now, bro. They wouldn't be. Period.
Go ahead, Randall. Look, we understand that there is going to be some bias because the SEC has dominated. It's just you can't hold that out. But legitimately, even right now, Georgia has not inspired confidence enough, like J-Rob has said, to at least be the number 1 ranked team. Nobody's saying that they're going to fall out. What J-Rob said on Sunday was wild. They're still a top 4 team. And if Georgia goes out and wins, they're going to make it. This is the problem, though. The Pac-12 is the best conference in the nation, Meek. It just
right now is. Right now
it's the best conference in the
nation.
Why
are we talking about Georgia?
But why? Go ahead.
Why are we?
Because we asked the question.
We're not talking about them in a bad way, Meek.
We're not talking about them in a bad way,
Meek. You're a Georgia fan, Meek. Have y'all looked?
I understand what
Meek. Have y'all looked like the number 1 team in the nation?
Meek, be completely honest. After the season right now, are y'all? Do you honestly think you are a top team in the country? Answer the question, yes or no. I don't want you to make an excuse. Answer this question. After this season, Do you think that the Georgia Bulldogs should be ranked the #1 team in the country? Yes or no?
Right now.
Talk?
Yeah, it's your world.
Answer the question.
And I'm gonna ask my question when I answer yours.
Okay, and I'll shut up.
Does Georgia?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I got you. Does Georgia look like the best team? No, but this has been a question before. Can we agree to that?
Yeah, but every year.
No, it wasn't.
Last year there was no talent.
People were saying
you guys were stacked,
bro. Last year you had one of the most stacked and talented rosters in the country.
Kirby Smart really went out there and lied to a nation and had people really thinking. Who really thought y'all was going 7-3 last year, Meek? Who the year before thought y'all was gonna be whack?
You didn't see the media. You didn't see all the media sleeping on us.
Can I tell the truth though?
Oh, they're struggling against weak opponents. They play Ohio State. Ohio State's gonna beat. Come on, man.
Here's the thing about that.
To be fair, if Marvin Harrison Jr. don't get hurt, I think they do beat y'all last year.
Here's the thing about the so-called dominance you guys are talking about with Alabama and Georgia, right? Ever since the NIL deal, which Jalen Green started, a lot of people don't know, Jalen Green started the NIL deal. A lot of things since the NIL deal and the portal, what Alabama and teams like Georgia did was every year, and again, Nick Saban is the biggest fraud in college football history. You were able to get the best of the best every year because you can tell your guys, hey, you'll get drafted on my team. You'll get watched. We got all televised games on my team. So you got the best of the best prospects out of high school every single year. The moment the playing field gets leveled and teams are starting to spread around the talent, you guys don't win as much. You don't look as good. So I believe that.
If you don't
believe
you don't believe Bill Belichick will just draft anybody from Alabama. That's all you do.
Yeah,
and
the problem.
Anybody from Alabama.
Here's the thing with Nick Saban. I don't think Nick Saban is a fraud. I think what he did, because you have to understand, Alabama hadn't won a national championship at that time since like the Bear Bryant.
Nick Saban is definitely not a fraud.
He came to Alabama. They went 7-9 the first year. The next year he goes 10-2. Then they go the next year, they win the national championship in a 3 years that he's been, and he's won 7 national championships. He's tied with Bear Bryant for the most national championships at Alabama. He's not a fraud because he was able to bring talent. Like if you look at the 2019 Alabama teams, if you look at the rosters from that 2019 squad, half those guys are in the NFL. Because he was able to recruit the best talent, and he had 5 stars on top of 5 stars. So if someone got hurt or if someone couldn't play, they had someone that with that talent that was able to take his place.
Yeah,
but how?
Yeah, but hold up, hear me out. Now, with the transfer portal and with NIL combined, now the playing field's leveled. So now he has to adjust to that. Because now it's going to make it's not going to be as easy for him to go out there and dominate the SEC like he is. Like
what has he been doing though, Grant? He's been bitching and moaning ever since.
Yes, he's been complaining, and I'm saying this.
Look at that little booster thing in that restaurant in Tuscaloosa. He got caught.
When you're talking about a guy who literally can get a #1 running back, you got people like Alvin Kamara backing up Derrick Henry. Like you got the best of the
at one
best.
point, didn't they have Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry, Kamara? That backfield is a whole slew of NFL Pro Bowl.
Bro, their backfield
starting for an NFL team. Like, let's be real. When it comes to Nick Saban,
he left to go to Tennessee.
And he balled out at Tennessee.
Go ahead.
When it comes to Nick Saban and the Alabama team, what you understand is like y'all saying that he recruited this and that. Well, how hard is it to recruit if I pull up to a girl with $10,000 in my hand and say, this new whip I just pulled in, this your whip, and
right.
That's what I'm saying. And hold up, I was saying that because of what he did in the past,
preaching on morals and values.
Listen, okay, hold up. This is my thing.
That's why Clemson is going to do.
That's why he's hating
exactly. No, this is my thing. What I was saying was I didn't think he was a fraud because of what he has done at Alabama. Now, if we're looking at this season right now, he now has to understand that he has to enter the transfer portal and use NIL to his advantage like these coaches are doing because now he can't dominate the playing field with just recruits alone.
Let me get one last thing, J-Rock. But Grant, when he went to the pros and thought he could do the same thing, once he realized he couldn't dominate in the pros, he left mid-season on Miami and said, you know what, I'm going back to college. This is not. This is
I thought he left after the season.
No, he left in the middle of the season.
He left mid-season because college football season
did the same thing.
College football.
He left like a note and
season
not
ends.
A fan of him neither. Not a fan of neither. But again,
so mid-season he abandoned.
That's crazy.
Not a fan of him either.
Literally get the best of the best. You got the best wide receivers. You got the best line. You got the best D line. Like look at that many people come from Alabama. Like. Like Miami U was like that back in the day.
Facts.
That's true.
But Miami U was giving kids that was from the gutter. Like they were actually drafting kids who were from their neck of the woods, from the slums.
These were South Florida kids going to Miami.
Exactly. So it was a traditional. We're gonna be next to home, and we're gonna kill for the home. He gets the best from everywhere. Texas, Colorado,
California.
Utah.
You got California kids going to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, bro.
It's not fair.
But I gotta admit this. This is why I'm so happy about
fair, that's how the college model is designed.
But
if you ball out, you will get the recruits.
No, you will get the recruits.
Well, now before NIL, that's the way it was.
No, that's how it was. But I'm happy that NIL and the transfer portal exists because the parity in the college sports is crazy. And I'm gonna keep using that word parity because we are at a point where now some of your favorite head coaches, we're gonna really see if they can coach because Dabo, Swinney. If there's anybody who's looking like a fraudulent coach, Dabo Swinney's looking like one. He's looking super duper fraudulent. I'm looking at the landscape, and I'm seeing a future where I don't personally think that the SEC. Obviously, I think the first maybe 2 or 3 years of the 12-team playoff, SEC probably get a few extra nods with the teams that they are allowed to get in. I think they're going to get 3 teams in.
Lord, they're going to get a 2-loss team in there.
Yeah, they're going to put 100%. They're going to put a 2-loss team from the SEC. Maybe that first 2 years, but I think it's not going to take too long for the rest of the committee and the rest of the nation to realize is like some of these other 1-loss teams are just as good because NIL, like Colorado. Is showing you that if you have a formula where recruits want to be around your environment, along with
it's the new Miami U.
Yeah, it is. Colorado is the new U. They're the new U.
They got Colorado. They got HBCU out there.
Facts though.
Mind you, here's the thing about
y'all seen those new Colorado commercials, man. They hopping all over Prime.
Here's
Prime location.
Here's why Nick Saban is so fraud. You got a guy who you've been doing commercials with for years, a Prime. Him and Prime are cool. Like, even Prime thought it was cool. The moment NIL comes along and he can Travis Hunter, you bashing him. Oh, he paid the guy $1 million. He complaining, oh, these guys are paying these people. So when you was
he wasn't doing the
and
same
you had the best,
it was cool.
But now he's being scared. You bitching him on
it. But that's how I feel about Dabo, though. All these coaches now who are complaining about NIL is the ones who dominated the sport. And I'm like, how are we going to go from dominating the sport to now you being upset that other teams have like real opportunities?
Blatantly upset.
And Dabo
blatant about it, like, and blatantly pouting and literally blatantly pouting. I was like,
and the thing is with Dabo,
you cool with Dion. You cool.
It's blatant pouting. It's actually pretty crazy.
It's like half that commercial y'all do together.
The thing is with Dabo, again, like he had the opportunity to go in the portal, but he just refused to do it because he claimed it was unethical. And then week 1, what happened? He got beat by Duke. And it wasn't a close game. It was a wash. And now he's sitting there.
Keep it a buck, Grant. They got their ass kicked by that.
They did. And this is what I said on Trent's show. I said that Dabo Dynasty, this is rock bottom for him. This Dabo Dynasty is dead because he didn't want to adapt to change. And now that the college football is now officially changing, because think about it, NIL and the transfer portal, we're going to get 12-team playoff next year. And
I can't wait
the whole conference system's changing.
I wish we got it this year because I'd be
not
so
only that,
curious.
didn't Dabo make those racist comments about
hold on, real quick before we get to that early. J-Rob, I wish we got that 12-team playoff this year. I'd be so curious to see why they would justify if USC's 1 loss, Oregon's 1 loss, Washington State's 1 loss. Washington is undefeated because I think Washington gonna win the Pac-12, and I want to see them justify why they're not gonna put a 1 loss Washington State, a 1 loss Oregon, and they're gonna put a 2 loss Alabama in there. And I'm gonna be hot. So I'm like, you cannot sit there and tell me that
they put a 2-loss LSU if they went out.
They're gonna put, they're gonna put a 2-loss. Watch, 2-loss LSU next year over a 1-loss. Dear God, over a 1-loss Michigan
and lost to Texas. Y'all lost to Texas.
And I'm gonna be
for how many years?
I'm gonna be so pissed because it's unfair. They're gonna
do it because there have been years we've seen this with the 4-team playoff. Remember the year UCF went undefeated? And everyone was talking about how they deserved to be a spot. Where were they ranked that year? Y'all remember? They were 6.
What?
Look,
they were 6.
Obviously, look, I'm not saying that
they're gonna rob a team because they don't want them to compete. Because look at what happened last year. They gave TCU a chance. They beat Michigan. They got routed in the playoff. I think what the college football playoff committee is going to do is they're going to look at it as what's going to bring us the most revenue and what's going to be the most entertaining for us to watch. They're going to want. They're not going to want Washington to play Ohio State. They're going to want Alabama, Ohio State round 4 in the playoff.
And the only reason
it's
why
going to kill the game.
It ruins the image they sell to us, though. They tell us, look, it's all about the game. The most deserving team gets it. If you're telling me there's let's just say, obviously, next year, the Pac-12 is going to change. If they take the ACC, you're telling me there's a undefeated Oregon State, because they stay in it, undefeated, and you put a 2-loss Alabama in there, and you're telling me the most deserving. Oregon State can only play who they get on the schedule. And obviously, if they go in there, I'm not going to sit here and say Oregon State would beat Alabama. I'm not saying that. But they deserved it because they played who there's on their schedule. And you sell it. That's the image that you sell us. That's where I'm mad at. If you're telling us that we're just trying to get the most ratings, bet, then I have no problem. But you're selling us this move that if you work hard, you get what you deserve. Then you're gonna put in a 2-loss Alabama in there. And I'm gonna be hot.
But here's the thing about Alabama and college football. College football is one of the sports that it's a lot of Mason Bedfords and Wallows in college football. You rooting for the teams who've been winning for years and years. There's a lot of people don't even watch Alabama games but root for Alabama because they're the winners. That's why they won them, because we know that it's so many fans of them that's going to watch and going to watch. But when a Colorado comes along and you're getting a Colorado and Colorado State game, getting $9 million, we talking about
9 million.
we talking about
early 9 million viewers at 2 a.m. 2 a.m.
Fifth highest college football game they've ever had on ESPN.
Facts.
Fifth highest. We're talking more than national championship games.
So the moment Colorado gets their O-line and D-line together, they're going to have Colorado. They can't
What is going to be their excuse next year for Colorado? What is going to be their excuse next year for Colorado?
The committee is licking their Colorado's getting in with 1 loss. They might get in with 2, bro. If Colorado finished second, if Colorado just finished first or second in the Big 12, they're getting in the playoffs.
And Shador, I don't care if they lose 4 or 5 games this year. Shador keep putting the numbers he putting up. He's gonna be top 3 in the Heisman.
And hey, drink more water. Speaking facts. In 2017, Wisconsin's only loss was in the Big Ten title game, and Bama got into the playoff, and they didn't play in the SEC championship. And then Wisconsin and Miami were undefeated, and they were ranked 8th and 9th behind 1-loss SEC teams that year.
The bias is there. Anybody who says SEC bias is not is lying. It's there.
But I think it's getting better because of
here's the thing.
Unless you have a Johnny Manziel or a what's your man that played for the Jaguar? Trevor Lawrence. When you got or Cam Newton, when you have one of those star flashy quarterbacks, they'll get your ranking up when you got one of them because they sell. Those Cam Newton, those Tim Tebow, them Johnny Manziels, they sell. So you can get a one loss
really got them
but they want to see them play. Even Caleb Williams, they want to see Caleb.
No, I agree.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
And also, I'm gonna say this real quick, and then my thing is, I hate how they want to pull to us this thing that like we look at strength of schedule, we look at how hard, how you won your games, how bad you beat these teams. They're just selling us a lie so they could say on the flip side, what we're really doing is we're more concerned of what's going to get us the most money and the most revenue and viewers. You would say that
Georgia schedule. They don't play LSU. They don't play Bama this year,
and that's why Nick Saban.
They don't play any of the.
That's why he was pleading on national TV, begging to be let into the playoff.
He knows how this works. He knows that he's about to be null and void in this league. He knows the Deion Sanders are coming. And he's finna have a Warren Sapp next year. Like Warren Sapp wants to coach for Deion next year.
He's already there. He's basically their D-line coach now.
He's already signed at this point.
He's already signed. He's there.
Sits on your couch and you're a top D lineman in the country. Why would I not go play with Warren Sapp?
I said this. You give Colorado 2 or 3 years.
Warren Sapp and Deion walk in your living room. Hey,
if you give Colorado 2 or 3, I said this. You give Colorado 2 or 3 years, they're gonna be looking scary.
Or Terrell Owens is your receiver coach.
Deion. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Deion been making me want to have a son so bad lately, like pop a kid just so he go play for Deion, bro. Like I was just saying,
like he got Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders to commit to Jackson State in Jackson, Mississippi, and Boulder, Colorado. Bro, if that don't show you alone the recruiting power of what he's able to do, now that he's got all the
I'm gonna put something in perspective. I'm gonna put something in perspective about how the NIL and the portal, but specifically NIL, has changed the landscape of college sports. And I'll give you a basketball example. I don't know how much y'all follow college recruiting. I follow just college recruiting from high school.
I watch dog with that.
Yeah, I'm always watching. So Amani Bailey or Amani, I can't.
Amani Bates.
Monty
Bates.
Bates.
No, Bailey. He's in the class.
Sorry.
He's in this class with Dylan Harper. So I think it's class of 2024 or 2025. Amani, he's from Georgia, and then Dylan Harper, who is also he's from New Jersey. I think he's the number one player in the country. These are the number 2 players in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know where one already committed, but do you understand where the other one is going?
Where
they're expected to go to. They're both expected to go to Rutgers.
Who they got at Rutgers?
Exactly. You understand my point?
Harper over there.
They
WNIL Rutgers, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. So his name is Arius Bailey from Powder. He went to McEachern High School. If you know,
I think Keon Anthony. I think Camelo's son got Rutgers on his list too.
Yeah. So Rutgers is on his list. Dylan Harper's the number 2 player in the country. He's gonna probably go to Rutgers. Rutgers is gonna have the number 2 and 3 players in the entire country going to their school. And all I can think is that don't happen if NIL doesn't exist.
Jalen Green, you better thank Jalen Green. When Jalen Green, who was a top prospect, he was the first prospect in history to be compared to Kobe since Kobe came out. Right. He was the first ever to be compared to Bean. When he went to the G League team, that set them on an uproar. Like, yo, we can't have that happen. We can't have
Puma out the gate, right?
Out the gate.
Yeah.
So he went from high school to
the NIL deal was
G
talked
League.
about.
Facts.
That same year.
So this is my other thing about the NIL too is like if you get these 2 kids, and this is why also I think there's gonna be more parity because kids are gonna be more likely to stay in their hoods to play.
Because I'm gonna get paid.
I'm gonna get paid here. Yeah, I'm gonna go get paid at home. Like the reason why Dylan Harper I think is gonna go to Rutgers because he's from New Jersey. And what's that market in Rutgers? That's the New York City market. That's that whole Northeast tri-state area. He's gonna absolutely rip that market to shreds. He's gonna make so much bread. I'm looking at that Nico kid. I'm a label who's under Bo Milton, who's under Milton at Tennessee. He left sunny California to go to Rocky Top, Tennessee. Why? Because he know he's gonna shake the room there. The whole city, that whole city is gonna fall in love with him. That whole city is gonna ask. He's gonna be doing all types of commercials in that area. He's gonna be the guy. Cooper Flag. The reason why UConn. Shout out to my Huskies. You feel me? Go.
You a Husky fan?
Yeah, I played football for them. I played for them early.
Oh yeah. You did.
I played corner for them. But Cooper Flag. Right now, UConn is one of the top schools. Where's Cooper Flag from? He's from Maine. His mom went to Maine. What does this tell you? He's a New England kid. UConn just won a national championship with a New England kid who's the number 1 player in the country. You're going to be able to get him this. You're going to be able to keep him over a Duke or a Kansas because he just canceled his trip to Kansas because he's between Duke and UConn.
But
why does he want to go to
NIL? That is unheard of. Before NIL, that is unheard of to do that to Kansas.
But mind you, J-Rock, most of basketball is black athletes, and here's the thing: as a black person, I know growing up in hoods, if I can live in my neighborhood and go to school that's in my hood and pull up in a Benz with my, I'm the man around here.
Yes.
I can pull up in the Benzo Lorenzo in my hood and play for my team, my hometown team,
and my family up the turnpike.
And I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say this because I ain't gonna say. I want to say this. That's one thing I hate about Mars and this whole James Wiseman thing. Well, people don't understand that what James Wiseman was, he's from Nashville, he's from Tennessee, right? He barely started playing, just like Akeem Olajuwon. He ends up getting recruited by Penny Hardaway to play for his Memphis high school team. Mm-hmm. Penny Hardaway takes over for the Memphis college team, right? Mm-hmm. But James Wiseman didn't expect to be there that long. He came to play with Penny for his high school year. He didn't expect to go to Memphis college, right? He's like, well, look, if I'm gonna be out here, can my mom come? I haven't been this long without my mom. Penny gets his mom an apartment. They look at that as collusion, and he gets suspended after 2 games, and they have to go to the NBA. So he basically was
so they did the same thing to him that they did to Reggie Bush.
So imagine, and then the next year, the NIL deal comes. So if James Wiseman had an NIL deal, he would have been able to stay in Tennessee and play for Tennessee and not have to deal with all that.
Right.
Don't forget to hit the super chat, J-Rob. Buy some more water.
I already talked about it.
You already talked about it.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, I did. You drunk. Yo, we got 5 minutes left in the show. The one thing I want to put out there, first thing first, early, great debut. Definitely got to come back up here. Grant, Random, I appreciate y'all for rocking me always. But for my college football heads that are in here, For by any means is coming on at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I only got an hour with y'all, so it's gonna be open. It's gonna be open gym style. I'm gonna put a link in the chat. But what I'm doing is, so I'm not gonna have it's not gonna be a free for. I'm not gonna have 10 people up there. I'm gonna probably get 6, 7. The first 8. Obviously, the 3 of y'all are all invited to come. But what I'm doing is
this today, 8 o'clock today.
Yes, 8 p.m. today. We're predicting the 2025 college football playoffs. So 12 teams. I already got this picture. We're gonna write in the 12 teams that we think are gonna be the 12 teams to go to next year's college playoffs. So it's just too soon. I think it'll be kind of fun. I only got an hour before Fluent and Chill come on right after. So make sure y'all pull up on me at 8 o'clock. Go ahead, Grant.
Really quick, if you didn't mind, I just want to talk about this week.
Go ahead, bro.
Red River Rivalries is Saturday. Red River Showdown, whatever you want to call it.
Yes,
I want to go to one of those games just to see how it is for real.
I'm actually going to Saturday, so I'm gonna be at that game on Saturday. I got tickets from a friend, so I'm gonna be there. So number 12 Oklahoma, number 3 Texas. This game could shake up a lot of stuff going to the play. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the always around this time.
Is this the game of the weekend? Is that the
game of the weekend?
Easily.
All right, but really quick, I know I don't want to drag it up, but
no, go. You're good. You got 3 minutes. Go
what are y'all thoughts? Who do y'all got winning this game? I want to hear your points.
Honestly, I want Texas to win because for some reason I'm a big Steve Sarkisian fan. I don't know why, but I really do like Steve Sarkisian. I like his story.
It's the redemption story there.
They play his redemption story. Yeah, I love a good redemption story. I love a good story. So I'm a big Steve Sarkisian fan. So I definitely want the Longhorns to win. I also think when Texas is good at football, it's good for college football. They haven't been good. Yeah, they haven't been good for so long. Oklahoma's been good for a while. But I will say this. I am nervous. Yeah, for real. But I am nervous, though, because I do think Oklahoma is good this year. And that game is going to be an absolute shootout. But I will say this, Grant. If Oklahoma wins, you got to put them in the top 5.
Facts.
I just believe that with Texas, I think they can't get off to a slow start with Quentin. Quentin seems to get off to a slow start sometimes, and then it's a struggle in the game. I hate when he does that. So I think if they get off to a fast start and get the ball out, go with their running back, they're running a great running game. Number 2 forwards likes that. I think they'd easily beat Oklahoma, honestly. Now I say easy, like they'll blow them out, but I think it'll be a 10 point.
I think it's gonna be like a 38-35 ball game, to be honest.
Yeah, I think at least a 7-10 point.
I just looked at the schedule, and besides the Red River Rivalry, you got Georgia, Kentucky, which could also really, if Kentucky wins that game,
that's the game of the week.
Oh my God! If Kentucky wins that game, Grant, when we're talking chaos, chaos,
bro. If they win that, if Kentucky wins that game, the whole playoff goes down the drain. They play Georgia in Sanford Stadium in Athens.
If they win that, hey, let me ask you something. You think we live long enough to see Kansas and Kentucky be good at football?
Listen,
we talked early. We talked about this. I think was it last week when we talked about Jaden Daniels coming in, the coach. I believe he was a North Dakota State coach, right?
Right.
For who came in and I went to school in Kansas. So I know how bad it was. Where I told him, Carl's Jr. is doing a steal.
I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah, buy this burger, you get 2 Kansas tickets, and nobody was buying that burger. It was that bad.
Bro said he was going to the
Kansas.
Hold up.
Random said he was going to the tailgates and leaving.
Yeah, we were going to tailgates to party, and then we go somewhere else. I almost
forgot. Real quick, last thing.
Go ahead.
Alabama A&M, Kyle Field. This is the toughest game. I said this. This is a very tough game. If Bama loses this game again,
I don't want to hear nothing about the playoffs. I don't want to hear it.
And this is my prediction.
I'm pulling from
A&M is going to pull off the upset again. It's going to be by a field goal because I think Jaden Milroe is not going to be able to handle the pressure of Kyle Field.
He's not good enough.
They're going to pack 100,000 people into that stands. If you're talking Kyle Field, it's loud.
Chaos, Grant. If all your things come out, you're talking absolute chaos. We're freaking out Sunday night.
Because Alabama is just a name now.
Here's my upset.
They ain't that good.
This is my upset of the weekend. I hope Kentucky wins. I don't know if they will, but my upset of the weekend is I got the Missouri Tigers knocking off LSU this weekend.
Big win.
Same.
And I want you to know if Missouri knocks this team off, the crash course to this Missouri-Georgia game is going to be crazy because I'm looking at Missouri's schedule. They look good, because Missouri got LSU at home, and then they got Kentucky the week after.
South Carolina.
If they can get past LSU and Kentucky, I think they'll beat South Carolina because South Carolina's offensive line is just god awful. I think they get to Georgia, and it's going to be an absolute slugfest. And let's not forget, guess who was the only team last year that really outside of Ohio State to give Georgia a real run for their money during the season last year?
Missouri.
Missouri Tigers, baby.
So, the craziest part
Missouri
is
Tigers,
you look at Mizzou's time in the SEC, they've had a chance to be in the title game a few times.
Facts.
Just nobody just looks at them.
People forget they won the East.
We'll see y'all later. Pull up on us on by any means. I think these boys might.
Hey man,
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yes, sir. Early.
Great,
yes, sir.
man. Really,
yes,
really
sir.
appreciate it. Real fast.
Hey,